that big old syringes for? So I was just trying to do butt crack, and that's what it came up with. So I don't know what that doc was doing, but he got that big old syringe. So that's what it's for.
Oh my God. That was hysterical. I was hoping you'd show it ahead of time, but that's great. Thank you.
I was like, I'm not showing it to her. I want to get her like legit first reaction to seeing that intro. It's supposed to be like dark comedy noir or whatever.
Oh, no, it was good. It was good. I like her little passionate look. Too. That was good.
It was supposed to be deadpan stare, like we're just cold and we're done with it. Medical bullshit. So this is the perfect storm of a medical shit show with Colee.
Absolutely.
And this is the Naughty Ninja Podcast, episode 6. I had been doing these with like Sabrina and Hillbilly Heart, and let me show you guys. We had done like a whole bunch of these, and then we just kind of like stopped because other things came up. But there's a whole playlist on both like the Rumble and the YouTube, and then you can search it on Substack. But we've got me and Sabrina, and then Liz Hillbilly Heart joined, and then Chris Crutchfield joined. And so we're kicking it back off with Colee.
Yeah.
The medical shit show. Yeah.
I had the perfect storm of a shit show.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get into some of that stuff.
Yeah.
I did have one thing I wanted to play before we got there, but I want to also let people kind of roll in. Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to the show. Colee, I've been wanting to get Colee back. She's like, well, why didn't you invite me? I was like, man, I've invited you. Come on now.
You didn't even give me like a straight up, like
just straight up. Do this. All right. Well, now
I'm a ding dong. It doesn't register. You gotta like send a message or something.
All right. We had to come on. I think the last time you showed up on a Booma stream and you couldn't hear certain people and it was weird, so we had to get that.
Yeah, I thought you guys were messing with me.
Right.
All right.
We weren't. We weren't.
I was started getting a little pissed off. I'm like, what? Are they playing games with me now?
Right. So can you see all the comments? Everybody's just pouring you with so much love.
Heather and Carlton and Ophelia, everybody.
Cajones,
and Heather, I can't do Telegram. I'm trying. My brain can't wrap around it on the phone. I need a screen.
You need a bigger screen, huh?
Because I want to chat. And Miss Cojones. Mucho besos, hermosa. And who else?
Hopefully people get stuff figured out. Some of the tech problems with these platforms, man, I don't even know. I think we're rocking as best as we can on the YouTube, Rumble, and Substack. But
I miss everybody because I've been missing the times with when I have work, I work. So
sure.
That's how my job goes.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. And if there's work, then there's money. There's no work, there's no money. So it's not an easy life. But
we do our best and we have fun where we can. But that's why I like the Naughty Ninja Podcast. We just chat, hang out, real people, real talks, kind of like the Booma streamers, but this is a little bit more like just, we're just talking about a certain thing, and we can go into whatever we want, but I know you wanted to get into some of this medical bullshit that you've dealt with more recently, and I think a lot of people relate to that. But before we do that, I want your reaction to this. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, she doesn't know what's about ready to be played, and we got to get Colee's reaction to this and see what she thinks.
You don't want to get me riled up now, do you?
Maybe. Let's just roll the tape.
Okay.
Mama Allison has leveled up, bitches. Bring on the buttery biscuits.
So you flipped her off. It's a thing. It's a thing with old Allison, the CIA handler, and buttery biscuits.
Oh my God!
It's always a thing in the live chats.
Well, she's kind of a bitch, and I don't like her. And Heather agrees. She don't like her either. She thinks she's a whore bag. It is what it is. She's a skank.
This is exactly what I was looking forward to. I had to.
Is that a classic reaction?
Look, I love screwing around with like the biscuits and getting them all riled up and whatnot when I do the little promos, and he's always just like,
I know.
That's and he's like, I think bad things need to happen to Allison soon. But then people were like, we wanted to see him dancing, so then I had him dancing and doing all those things.
I'm gonna dance off with her.
You can have a dance off with Allison. Colee just goes nuts. Yeah, there's Heather. Allison is a dirty bitch.
And she is a stank hoe. Yes.
So we'll see what happens with old Allison here pretty soon.
Puta, no, mis cojones. Una pelotuda, boluda.
Oh my gosh. So yes, I had to start off with that because it's just been a thing for a while. We've had some fun with it.
And how are your handlers doing now that I've seen something about your handler? Because I know you got like 7 of them now, right?
Yeah, well, I thought it was going to be a thing going to the Sabrina Wallace classes, right? But I think because we made such a big deal about it and lots of memes were put out there, we had some fun with it. Lucia from the Synergist chat, man, had some fun with some memes. And I think it chased them all off or kept them at bay. So I had a great time. I didn't have any issues at the classes. I thought it was great. And then meeting people in person is cool when you've only known them like online, you know?
Right.
So
I know, but you guys went the wrong way.
I know, right? You're not too close. Are you? You could make it to one of them. How far are you from like? Oh, it's still quite a ways though.
I'm like
Alabama,
7.5 to Pittsburgh. So like to West Virginia to maybe, I don't know what part Sabrina's in, but I don't know if she's kind of close to.
Well, she's doing them in different states. So I went to like Verona, Missouri, which was southern Missouri. That worked out a little bit better for me. And then she's doing the next one's in Ohio. And then
I love Ohio.
Oh, there you go.
I love Cuyahoga Falls. That's if I would left Jersey, that's where I'm going.
Ohio, huh?
I love it there. It's so.
What made you fall in love with Ohio?
Cuyahoga Falls. I don't know. People were chill. Just we went because I went to visit my sister in Pittsburgh. Talk about psyop. We went to Pittsburgh, like she's in the outskirts of it. The day after Trump got allegedly shot at that thing in Butler, which was like 15 minutes away. So I was like, why don't we were waiting for the hotel room. I was like, why don't we just drive past it and see it? I'll tell you, that was some creepy shit. Creepy. Hi, Veronica. Grizzle. That's not where I would think any politician would go. Have you ever been there?
Where?
In Butler, Pennsylvania?
No, I didn't know about it until Trump did that.
Okay, well,
rally there, and then all that stuff happened.
It pissed me off because if bullets ricocheted, right?
Right.
You would just get people in their backyards, somebody going to get a cup of coffee at Sheetz,
right?
Or somebody going into the hardware store. Like there was no buildings that were tall, and the building that guy was on, supposedly,
right?
I probably could have climbed it.
I know.
And in the behind there was like barely a fence, and that's where it was like all residential and like a country road, and then in front of it was like a country highway, which to me is like a side street in Jersey. But I was just like, there's no way. But yet the day after all that happened, we're driving by, we like rolled up, there was all these cops. We weren't allowed near anything, all these news crews. And then I'm like, who the hell stays in Cranberry, Pennsylvania? It was loaded with people. It was all media people.
Right.
Like, and I was like, you people are freaking vultures. Like, you know, like some of them were like trying to like talk and stuff. And so I didn't go with their narrative. So they really liked me a lot.
Right.
My husband's like, who are you talking to now? I'm like, don't worry about it. You know, but it's like, I can't believe all these news people, like from like all over were staying there. And like the same place we were staying at. I was like, you guys don't have better money for a better hotel, you know?
So you were in Pennsylvania when that shit went down?
No, the next day I was, because that was just our plans to check in. So I wanted to visit my sister and my nephew and my brother-in-law. And then we wanted to go to the Football Hall of Fame and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So then we stayed in Ohio for a couple days. So I said, I wanted to be between Cleveland and North Canton, where the Football Hall of Fame is.
I don't even know, but that would make sense.
But so I was like, I just kind of searched for a place, and I ended up in Stowe, which was Cuyahoga Falls. And then like we just like went through like the neighborhoods and stuff, and like found like these really cool places, and it was like, wow, people are like really chill here, and they don't care that I'm from Jersey. Like you go into Pennsylvania, I'm sorry if there's any Pennsylvania people in the chat, but you have attitude against Jersey people, and we didn't do nothing to you except be cool. I don't know. They're like, oh, you're from Jersey. Nobody says that. It's annoying. Like my brother-in-law, he's a doofus because he's a Pennsylvanian goofer.
Right. There's some interesting people in Pennsylvania.
There's
Spent
a
some
lot of
time there.
yeah.
My parents lived there, and then I was living there for a little while. I worked at Starbucks, like in Penn State University, and then a little bit outside of Penn State University.
That's nice.
So a lot of crazy shit went down as far as my addiction in my life and my failed love life in various ways. But I didn't know there was some heat going on between some of these Pennsylvania people and the Joysies.
Yeah, they got problems. I don't know. It's not us. It's them, man. We don't have patience. Like when you go and it like takes them an hour to pour you a cup of coffee, it's like it's gonna be cold by the time I get it. Like really, like move your ass.
So it's your guys' attitude, you think?
We're just
maybe it's Jersey Shore. When the Jersey Shore came out, maybe a lot of hate happened because
they're not Jersey. Let me tell you, like one or two people were Jersey. They're not Jersey. They don't represent us, and they're not even like. I don't even think some of them were even half Italian. It was just bullshit. I will give. What was the one with the big blowout hair? Paulie. I give him props. I mean, he's from Rhode Island, but he ain't from Jersey. But he is a typical Guido. But
yeah, the Guido.
And that girl, the one that was from Hazlitt, she's a classic Jersey girl. But the other ones, they were all show. They were full of shit, and they gave us such a bad name.
Right.
Changed so much since Hurricane Sandy. I have no desire to go. Well, since they did it, like all of us Jersey people were like, you know, because they weren't Jersey. That's not how it rocks. You know?
There you go.
Yeah.
You heard it from a straight up Jersey girl, but I heard something else in there. So, is there tension in those of you that live in Jersey between the ones that are Italian heritage and the ones that are not? Do you guys got tension? Like if you ain't Italian, then you ain't a real Jersey?
No. It's more of I don't get the people down South Jersey. They think they're Philly fans. You live in Jersey.
So maybe that's what happened. Some Pennsylvania people tried to roll up into your spot.
Let me tell you, my husband.
Man, there's so much drama here.
To the Intrepid, and that's like in Camden area. Not the nicest place in the world. And there's a giant sticker on the back of the car, you know. They were ready to get beat up. Like, how dare you be coming up in here with like giant stuff? And it's like, my son's like, we're in Jersey. Like, you don't get it. My husband's like, oh, I don't know. He's Argentinian. He just likes to football Latino, you know. He likes Messi. And these people were like, they were getting nasty. And they're in Jersey. Yeah. That's, yeah, no, everybody pretty much melts together, you know. It's funny.
It sounds like there's a lot of drama, and your idea of melting together is a little different than maybe the majority's melting together.
No,
like y'all can fight and be at each other's throat, and the next minute you can be having
we got each other's back,
wine or something, you know, kind of thing, right? Is that what you're talking?
Like, yeah, you could totally hang with people you don't like. It's weird. I mean, right. I don't. But it's like there's a lot of Spanish too now, you know, and it's like the town I live in. I didn't even realize this. Even growing up, I just always thought the people that lived here were a little like thought they were better for no reason. But it became a very Italian town. But now it's not, because everybody's one parent is from another country, be it Portugal, South America, well, Italy, yeah, Italian. We have Croatian, a lot of Greek, you know.
Yeah.
So, the joke always is like, if you're black, you get pulled over in this town, which I'd say
Still happens?
90% of it is true. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And it's like my one friend, she's Italian, and in the summer she gets really dark, and her sons, and it's like, you're the blackest family in this town. I hope you don't get pulled over. She's like, well, I went to school with the cops, so I'm good. I was like, all right. But
But you
no,
guys got to have some bomb ass food in that area.
oh yeah. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
like a lot of authentic, not just Italian, a lot of Greek, Portuguese, Brazilian, couple Argentinian places, but we got to kind of travel far. Um, Chinese food, that's not really my thing, but some people just go crazy for it. Um,
Right.
Even there's like some authentic Polish places, German, like real German stuff. And then you have like, well, like my husband calls them the Fantasia restaurants, like when you get like a piece of beef like this big, or he's like used to a piece of beef like this big and a bowl of rice like that big.
Right.
When you're eating like Miss Cajones, she knows what I'm talking about. Like when you go to a rodizio or something like that, and then you go to like these nice little places, like, is that a snack or is that my meal?
Right. When you watch some of these like cooking shows and it's like the higher end stuff, they visit these restaurants that are the higher end, they do lots of different plates. But when they bring the like dishes, it's like half it's like one thing from an appetizer or something. It's weird. It's like, what is this?
Yeah, no, but
Different.
regular restaurants, no. That's why I hate like all these chain places coming up and everything. Like I get, oh, portion control, whatever, but it's nasty.
Right.
They're doing like diners are usually good, but they're kind of going south a little bit because the way the things are going, and they're putting such a strangulation on small businesses that it makes it impossible to keep afloat. A lot of them, my favorite Italian place went out during COVID because he wasn't taking nobody's shit, but he was from the other side. I would never tell him if I didn't like something because I think he would have shot you, you know. He was like the tomato and olive oil Nazi.
But you like this food so much, huh?
Yeah, I would never complain to him though. He was like this big too. He looked like the Monopoly man. But he's like,
Oh,
no,
man.
I gotta tell you something. I was like, oh boy, But yeah, that it's sad that a lot of things are so commercialized. It's terrible. It's just,
Right.
I mean, it happens in other countries. I remember the first time I went to like the Maya Riviera, and then it ended up in Playa del Carmen, which was really cool. It was very quaint and nice. Yes, los Argentinos.
What is this? You got to translate this. I had this up earlier. I thought she was talking about a man.
Churrasco.
What is that?
It's the Argentinian barbecue.
Churrasco.
It's like all kinds of meats, and yeah, when they get down, they get down. They cook everything on the grill. Everything. It's good.
Mm.
And what pasta on the side, like macaroni and stuff. They don't do rice. Or they do like, yeah, yuca, potatoes, things like that. They eat like Irish people and Italian,
So it's an ethnic dish that Miss Cajones was getting all excited about. I thought that might have been a reference to a ethnicity of a person, and she was getting all hot and bothered over some man.
No, oh no. No, not that.
No. We're talking food here. We're talking food, not men.
Una pregunta, Miss Cojones. ¿Te gusta morcilla?
She could say whatever she's saying, and I wouldn't know a damn thing about what's
She's probably the
going
only
on.
one that'll understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Where is she? I haven't seen an answer yet.
I don't know yet.
Uh-oh.
We freaking know.
Oh, she's laughing.
So what'd you say?
If she likes the blood sausage, it's black. The big black sausage.
So we are talking about men here. Oh dear Lord. Okay, and she says no.
But my husband eats that. I'm like, brush your teeth. That's disgusting. It's like, do you ever see black sausage? It's disgusting.
So that's a thing? It's like
And chincholin is.
What are they doing into it to make it black?
It's all blood. It's blood sausage. Is
Oh, it's
really.
just straight up blood. That's
It's like blood and funk.
oh.
Yeah,
But you
that
tried
I
it.
don't roll with.
Did you
That
try it, or you just look at it and you're like, nah, I'm
no,
good?
no, mm-mm, no.
Oh, someone, Amityberry, however you
Oh,
say
she
that.
did.
She's had
She
it and she
loves
loves
it.
it.
Okay. I see, but my
Occupation.
husband will also. What is that crap called? Um. Ah, what is that like deli meat? It's like horse head or something. I don't know. You know what I'm talking? It's got like
Uh,
it's
something
got like
cheese, isn't it? I think I know what you're
head
talking about.
cheese. Head cheese.
Yes, head cheese. I think it is.
Ugh, that freaks me out. Yeah, that's
Right. We're gonna vomit our way right into the medical
yeah.
shit show here. All
And,
right, all right,
and
all right.
citrulline is another one. It's like intestines. I'm like, it's like shit filled. Like, is that how it's stuffed?
This is what you get. Yes, head cheese is what it's called. Everybody's knocking it out. Yes,
Yeah,
this sounds disgusting.
it smells.
Um,
He has to like.
Psyop channels love it. It loves the black sausage. It loves the head cheese. You're
eh,
all about that. Oh God, it's
oh,
pancreas. Is that what that really is?
is that what
Oh
it
good
is?
Lord.
Oh wow, April. Ooh,
Oh, gross, y'all.
people.
What's
Ooh,
up? This is the way you get with Coley, though. You can't talk to the Italian without talking some food. You gotta talk
no,
about some food,
it's a form of love.
right?
It totally is love. You know, like a Mother's Day, we got Brazilian food, and it was good. I love that. That's I don't know if anybody knows it. It's called picanha. It's a cut of meat. It's oh my god, it's so good. But yeah, I don't eat organs. Uh-uh. Uh, that I don't like.
Right.
To Romanian, lots of yeah. But they're probably I think those people that eat the organs and stuff, they're much stronger. Like the Peruvians, they eat like the chicken hearts. They have like a special name. It's like a delicacy to them.
Right. What happens if you go traveling the world? Not that any of us can afford it nor want to fucking get in a plane
Well,
these
where
days.
I live, I have it all.
Right. You have all those options, I guess, there too.
Yeah.
But if you go to someone's home, I that's kind of like what you're saying with that guy. You don't dare say anything's bad, because it's like a
The shoot,
being
yeah.
unhospitable or whatever.
Right.
But you go to into someone's home and they serve you something, man, you best eat it. In some cultures, I'm saying there's a lot of Americans that'll just be like, nah, I ain't touching it, and they're the disrespect isn't at the level that it is for some cultures where it's like if they serve you something, you're gonna eat it and you're gonna fucking enjoy it.
Yes. And my
And if
mother
you
will
don't enjoy it,
not
then
do
shut the fuck up
right.
because they gave it to you for free.
Yeah. My mother needs the praise. She is she's Polish, but she's very Italian.
Okay.
She she grew up and she was like right where she lived, she just had to cross the outer bridge. So she was always in Staten Island. So she liked the Italian boys. And she has like the Staten Island accent a little bit, but she says she's hysterical. And now she's kind of like a younger version of Everybody Loves Raymond's mother. So I thank God I don't have any brothers
Right.
because life would be miserable. But when you don't eat her food or if you're not eating enough, that is, you'll hear about it
Right.
for a week.
Why do Italians like everybody to be so plump?
I don't know. Food is life. My one doctor, he's Italian from Italy. He's like, my friend's got gout. And he's like, I'm sitting there, I'm eating, we're having wine, we're eating bread, cheese. And he's like, maybe you shouldn't be eating all this stuff. And he's like, but I'm happy. And he's like, okay.
So you like your doctor.
I love, yeah, yes, that's an allergist that I go to once in a while. I love
Oh, an
him.
allergist. Okay.
My regular doctor is, he's off the hook, mad cool. It took me a while to find him, but I met him, I found out about him during COVID. So I called him, and this was like my sister had passed away. My regular doctor that I went to for like 14 years. I think I told you this. She outed me out in the middle of Trader Joe's because everybody was wearing masks. And first it wasn't like, hey, how's it going? How you guys making out or whatever? She's like, did you get the shot? And I was like, no, I'm not ready yet. And it like our age bracket, it wasn't like ready for us yet, which that was insane. And I'm glad because it made me think more. And
Right.
I said no. And then she started screaming and berating me in the middle of Trader Joe's. Jewish girl. So that's like an Italian girl thing too. Because of people like you, we're all going to be in these. Like, and I was like, wow, that's a doctor. And that's how you talk. So I was like, what about my body, my choice? And she was like, that's only for abortion. I go, oh, since when? And I go, well, what about all these Afghanis that never had one shot? Remember when Biden looped that up and then they were all hanging off the plane and coming in here and we were taking them all in. They never had
Right.
one inoculation in their life, but you have a problem with me not getting
This one.
right.
Right.
So that was ugly. So then I found this guy and then I had called him and I told him that my parents had gotten it and I was freaked out. And he was cool enough to write ivermectin prescriptions for myself, my husband, and my son. He said, I can't do it for your parents. Now, I didn't meet him in person yet. And he says, get a pen and paper. And he told me every vitamin and how much for how many days of what they should be taking. And my parents were fine. God bless them.
God
You
bless.
know. And then we had it. So when it finally came around to us, and my mother got it and dad got it in Pennsylvania, just saying, but not from Jersey because they were out at a graduation.
Right.
They were sick there. So, but they just thought they had little head colds. So it's like, my mother's like, don't worry about it. Chill, chill. But it was nice that this doctor did that. And I said, I'm really surprised you did it. He goes, don't go to CVS, go to like a compound pharmacy. And he goes, listen, I don't care if I lose my job. I want to save people.
Wow.
So I had like a really good thing. And then he started with, I don't know. Some people don't get me. He's like, you get me. He's like, I'm just like a Brooklyn Jew. Like, what do you want? He just talks like that. He'll sit next to you and start like chatting. Like, he's so cool. Like, he gets a lot of things. So it was unfortunate with everything I went through. He wasn't a part of it the way it happened. But yeah, I put trust in him and in my chiropractor. So those three I absolutely love.
Okay. Well, how did you end up going through this medical shit show then? And what
Okay,
is this all about?
I
Because
get
I
them
knew you were going through something for quite a while, and you were just hinting at it a little bit, but you never really shared. And I was just like, not gonna
because
press.
it's just so much, and I hope I don't bore people. It's freaking me out. Just so everybody gets where I'm coming from. In 2021, the end of November, I lost my sister, and it was unexpected. She had problems, but I didn't think it was going to take her out. She had back issues, pretty much from, it's called arachnoiditis. Somebody basically fucked up her spine and she had spinal cord leakage, and you can't fix that.
Someone as in a medical person or somebody like
Yes.
hurt her.
Yes.
Okay.
And because of her and some other people, now whenever you get any kind of myelogram or any kind of lumbar puncture, it has to be a physical medical doctor to do it and not any kind of tech. Because sometimes they put too many needles in at once or whatever, and who knows, but nobody will take the blame. And my sister suffered, but towards the end of her life, she had remarried the love of her life, and she was happy and she was beautiful. But it sucks, and I think of her because I literally have a missing piece. So when I hear people bitching and like they're fighting with their sister, it's not worth it because I would do anything to have a smackdown with my sister right now. Because even at our age, we would go at it, and it didn't matter. She's my sister. Because then it's like I could call her 2 minutes later, and you believe this bitch said this? What's her last name? Where does she live? Where does she work? I don't have that. That was true ride or die. I have my other sister that's out in Pennsylvania, but it's different dynamics. So anyway, basically when my sister passed, she supposedly had a sinus infection. So now, because I'm a panicker, I think anytime you have a sinus infection, things are bad because people, when they have a heart attack or an aneurysm and they live or die, usually they think they have a sinus infection. Their face hurts or their teeth hurt from, like when all your sinuses are bothering you. And my sister was supposedly sick with a sinus infection, and then she passed on a couple days later. So she's been through a lot of surgery. So actually her ex-husband and her new husband and my nephew were like, her little body, she's a cute little thing. She like reminded me of Marissa Tomei. She was like that kind of cute little, like, my clock is ticking, like that kind of girl, spicy. They were like, we can't like desecrate her body anymore. Just leave it be, which pissed my parents off to this day. But they didn't want to open her up. And my brother-in-law is, he was a detective, and he's like, I've seen autopsies, and you can't do that to her. Let her be in peace. Let her be out of pain. Let her be in peace. And I agree with that. But her teeth were hurting. So here, now this is like right after your birthday. I had like some kind of sinus thing. I did like a telemed, which I think I'm better off just doing that online just to get like, when you need an antibiotic or something. So I did that. And then everything, I started feeling better. But like 2 nights in a row, I woke up and I just like right on the corner side of my eye, I just felt a little pressure. Didn't hurt, just a little pressure. 2 nights in a row, it woke me up. And I'm like, why is this waking me up? So I'm like, is this a sign? And I'm thinking to my sister, oh my God, can it be something else other than a sign? Like, you know what I mean? Like I maybe I shouldn't have jumped the gun, but I had a lot of trauma last summer. Like when I first went on with you, I had coming off of surgery. So that was like that's a whole nother thing. So this,
That
like,
was
I
your
never
arm,
had
right?
problems like this before, but now I feel like it's a fucking con, a lot of this shit. So anyway, back to this thing. I'm like, all right, well, it's bothering me. And then it was very cold in November, and we had like a lot of like not sun. I don't know, like a lot of like my eyes weren't adjusting right, but I have good vision. Like, thank God for my age. I I can read pretty well. And whenever I do those stupid things, reading the signs, they're always like, oh, you're great, you're great. And I'm like, really? It's getting worse. But no, they're like, nope, your vision's perfect. So anyway, like the one eye on the same side wasn't, it focused, but it was just like weird the way it was focusing. And it didn't feel like it was a floater. It was like a little piece, and then that was like, I couldn't see through a little piece of it, like through like a cloud or something. It looked like a little weird spaceship in my eye or whatever. So I was like, you know what, after work, I'm just gonna run over and go to MediMerge, whatever. So I'm telling the guy, I had like the sinus thing going and blah blah. And he goes, all right, right away, are you allergic to contrast? And I'm like, wait, what? Yes, thank you, April.
Yeah.
It's sweet of you. I'm sorry, I'm not paying attention to all that stuff because I get distracted really easy. So he's like, all right, you need a pregnancy test and we're giving you a CAT scan. And I was like, CAT scan? For what? I'm like, old and fat? You think I had a stroke? I'm like, I just had a little pressure right here. And he's like, no, you need a CAT. I was like, can you like humor me and look at my eyes, ears, nose, and throat? Like, because it was like that kind of thing. And like the tech did my vision. And he says to me, God, you see better than people with glasses on. So I didn't lose my vision. But this guy's putting me in a CAT scan to see if I had a stroke, which I didn't. So now I'm freaked out. I called my husband. I was like, I told you should have fucking came with me. Now I'm all pissed off. And he's like, I'll be right there. I was like, don't come. And I'm like,
No.
because now I'm like freaking out. Like, why is he thinking I had a stroke? What is he seeing that I'm not catching, and it was like and mind you, it was very overcast, and sometimes it's hard for your eyes to get right. I was able to see. It was just this one little piece was like it was blocked, but I could still see. I never said I couldn't see.
Right.
So then he's like, okay, well, you didn't have a stroke. I'm like, yeah, I know.
You about got a stroke from the
You
whole
almost gave
scare.
me one. I might be having one tonight now, but yeah, thank you. So then he goes, you have an emergency doctor appointment tomorrow at 9 a.m. Emergency. Yes, with an eye doctor. An eye doctor. Well, I don't know if they take my I don't know who the hell they are. What's that? And he's like, no, where else more important do you have to be than your life? And you don't want to lose your vision. And I'm like, well, where does this come from? And I'm like, I'm freaking out. And then my husband like shows up. He's like, what's going on? I'm crying. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. But like, they're like sticking me with shit. And I'm like, you know, like the contrast, and he's telling me I need an emergency eye doctor appointment, but tomorrow. So how is it bad? But then my rational wasn't thinking. Do you know what I mean? Because now he's scaring you. You could lose your vision, and I'm thinking I have a son to raise, and I need to see, and I don't want to mess it up. So then they're like, no, it takes your insurance. So I guess a lot of these places, what they in turn is like, if it's like after hours, they send out to like whatever kind of doctors they work with who will take that emergency appointment for the next day.
Okay.
So the eye doctor happens to be in my hometown, which happens to be down the street from my parents. I was like, that's odd. Because that's like a good 15-minute ride or whatever. So I go there, I'm waiting. They're doing all these tests, whatever. Then I always get them confused. They give me the eye doctor that's not the medical doctor. And I was like, was that the optometrist?
Optometrist,
Right.
yeah.
And I'm like, maybe I should have shut my mouth, but I couldn't help it because I was nervous now. I'm like, they told me this was an emergency eye doctor appointment. And no offense to you, but you're not a medical doctor. And I think there might be more than you trying to give me glasses.
Right.
Like, so they're like, oh, well, that's not what the appointment said. I said, no, this place said that I needed an emergency eye appointment at 9 a.m. with an eye doctor. She was like, no problem. So then they had somebody in their group see me. Come to find out, it's my parents' eye doctor for like 15 years or so. So I thought I was in good hands because I'm like texting my mom, like, oh, I'm seeing this one. So she does all these things and they run all these little tests. And she's like, yeah. She's like, maybe you need to just do another round of antibiotics. The bottom of your eyelid is a little inflamed. And get stuff for the dry eye. I'm like, that's it. She's like, that's it. Okay. I drive home. I'm not even home 15 minutes. The office calls me, tells me I need to come back.
Oh my gosh.
So now, full on anxiety. What did they miss? And then I'm like, wait, I was just there. If you needed me to wait longer for more tests, you should have just told me to wait. Like, what transpired? And then the girl's like, well, I don't know. And blah, blah, blah. But the doctor definitely, she said she needs to see you. And and I'm like, well, no. What transpired in 15 minutes that I have to come right back right now? Like, I want to know what's wrong. And like, she's like being a little snippy, like little ass Jersey girl. Like, she wanted to get with it with me, and I wasn't feeling her. I would have loved to have Heather with me. Things would
You and
have
Heather would do some damage. Like it should be in this picture right here. Get rid of this guy and add
No.
Heather there, and it's over.
Yeah,
you guys are gonna take over the whole medical
Heather was
bullshit.
born on the wrong side of the country. I don't know. Maybe it was her past life. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. I don't even know her that well, but I feel her, and I feel Miss Cojones, and I've always loved Ophelia. That's just how I feel. I mean, I love everybody, but that's just. Are you laughing at me, Heather?
She's ready to get down with you. Like go slap some bitches.
Well, because you know what? Just, we don't like when people are mean and nasty.
Well, they're fucking with your health. You don't know what this is going to cost. Whenever you go to a fucking doctor, you don't know what. I mean, unless you got co-pays and things set up.
Me off.
You're going to a specialist now, and so you don't know what you're going to get. Now you're asking me to come right back. You're putting fear into you. and you're driving all around, and you have a life to freaking live.
Right. And then I'm like, oh, if there's something wrong with my eye, they're telling me to drive back. Like I don't get it. They didn't say get a ride.
And
So
they wouldn't
whatever.
tell you anything about why.
No. So then they're doing more. And I don't know, like with the other testing and stuff, my mind is all over the place. I'm not paying attention to those stupid machines where I'm playing fucking Space Invaders or whatever the hell they have you doing for your eyes. So then she's like, after everything is done, she's like, so I have to tell you, you're going to need to go to the hospital. What? And I was like laughing at her. I'm like, what are you talking about? She says, you have optic neuritis and you can't wait for a specialist. So you have to cut the line and you need to go to an ER. And the hospital I wanted to go to, she said, no, because they don't have an optic MRI machine. So I chose for the very highfalutin, nice hospital. Because the other one, I wouldn't send a rabid rat in the street there because I was there twice and not by choice years ago. And my son had a bad experience there, bad birth there. And my son, when he was a baby, a whole nother story about vaccines. But so anyway, I was
They
like,
tell you
I
to go,
don't know
that
what
you
you're
have to go
talking.
to the ER, or did they just say to the hospital, or what?
She said to go to the ER
Ugh.
to get the MRI and an optic MRI because MS, no, you probably have MS because she sees optic neuritis. Yeah, that's the face I was making, like trying not to shit myself. She goes, and yeah, you just have to cut the line because you can't wait to like get a specialist. And I'm thinking, you work with a big group and you have specialists and retina specialists. Can't one of them just look at me like for another opinion? But I'm not thinking. She's like, and you're probably going to have to come to the terms that you have MS. And I'm like, how could you just say that over an eye thing? And an hour ago, you just told me to take antibiotic and stuff for dry eye. What happened?
Right.
Oh, you have optic neuritis, and sometimes to women your age, that could be a prelude to MS. And I'm like, I do not have MS. I don't like, you know your body more than anybody, right? And it's like I don't have. I'm not feeling it. I don't have it. I had enough problems. I have other issues. I don't have MS. I know I don't have that. No, you have to go. So now I'm like hysterical crying and I call. I'm like, Mommy, Daddy, I'm down the street. Can you come pick me up and take me to the hospital? They're like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I don't know. It's your eye doctor. And she said so, you know. So I believed her. So I go to the ER. They were actually really nice in the ER, which was kind. But, I was an emergency that I needed the optic MRI. Now I'm in the ER by like 1 o'clock in the afternoon because this was all early.
Right. Your initial
I was
appointment was at
probably the
9
second
a.m. though.
to the last person to get an MRI
Oh
because I was such a priority, right? So I'm in this machine for an hour with and without contrast, MRI, optic MRI. Terrified because I really don't want to go in the MRI machine, but this is the only way they could really see it. Panicking. There's not even like music to listen to. You just freaking out. My parents, for their age, they're cool as shit. They held in there. They stayed like the whole time with me. So then after they finally did that, they put me on like a waiting deck, and they're like, this doctor comes in now. I can't barely make out what she's saying. I'm exhausted because I've been sitting there for hours. My anxiety level is through the roof. I'm like panicking. I'm worried about my son. What do I tell him? My husband's like, what the hell's going on? I got my parents sitting here. They just lost their daughter. And then, it's going on like 4 years, and then we lost my niece, my other sister's daughter. And it's like, now they're looking at their youngest daughter sitting here being told she probably has MS. And it's like, I'm looking at them laying in the bed freaking out. And I'm like, what's going on? They're like, we're going to wait till the doctor comes and see what they say, once they finally get the results from the tech, from the radiologist reading it. Okay. So this younger doctor comes in. She has one of those big ass like beak mask on, so I can't take her serious. And I'm like freaking out. I just like, can you just take it off? I'm not in a room where I'm by myself. I'm enclosed. I'm not here because I'm sick.
Right. You're saying that you got MS. That's not something you're gonna get.
Right.
You take
And
that fucking mask off and talk to me like a human being.
right. And I'm just like, I'm not comprehending because I'm exhausted, freaked out. And so basically, I'm not thinking. And she says the MRI and everything is fine. There's no lesions. And I was like, great. But we want to keep you overnight. My parents are like, yeah, maybe that's a good idea. And I'm like, I'm exhausted. I'm like, well, why? They're like, you know, just in case you have something wrong with the optic nerve. Now, I didn't know all this other information and that I did come to learn. We're going to start you on a steroid drip. And I'm like, I don't like steroids though. I don't do good on them. And they're like, well, just, it's for a couple days.
A couple days.
I'm like, what do I do with my son? My husband works like a dog. He gets up like a jerk at 1 o'clock in the morning to pay our health insurance, take care of us. Now my son is home alone in the middle of the night, and it's all in God's hands. And they're all scaring me, saying, you probably have MS. I have great neighbors who took my son to school every morning. I was calling my son, making sure he got up. I mean, he's old enough, but I'm the kind of mommy that I still make him breakfast because it makes me feel good because he's appreciative that I do it. And it's always thanks, Ma, or I get a kiss. It means the world to me. He's such a good boy. Like,
Right.
even though he might give some people Parkinson's once in a while,
Yeah, that's a funny story.
other than that, he's good. So it's like I'm just like in shock. So they wheel me into this room. So now I realize I'm on the floor for neurology. And they put me in this room, and there's this vent over my head that's like, and it will not shut off, no matter what you do. And it either goes super hot or super cold. And I'm like, I'm so exhausted. I was like, are you serious? They're like, oh yeah, this room, haha. And I'm like, no, really, I'm just so tired and I don't know what to think. Everybody's telling me crazy things. Do I have to sleep with this thing over my head? We're gonna change your room ASAP. 5 days later, I was still in the same room.
5 days.
But remember when I was sending you a message, I'm like, I'm in the hospital and I don't know why. And you're like, what? I hope you get better. And it's like, no, like you didn't understand. Like I was really trying to reach out to somebody because I didn't know. Like I was flipped the fuck out. I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. So I'm
You
like,
should have been more like
more aggressive.
Yes, you should have told me what the fuck's going on.
Like I was almost like ready for you to be like, do you want a video what's going on with you right now? Like, I mean, I
You
was
should have been
almost
more
like,
aggressive. I didn't know. I thought it was still your arm thing or
you know,
something. Or like,
us Jersey girls aren't aggressive, like that.
why? I know you're Italian Jersey. You should have just been like, motherfucker, you don't get it. These fucking doctors got me
Bitch, listen to
fucking
me.
stuck in here telling me I got all kinds of crazy shit, and I didn't talk to you. I would have been like, cool, fuck. I just probably multitasking, fucking, because I do get just so everybody knows, like people communicate. I'm talking like up to maybe 10 people a day communicate with me, which they're the people that I enjoy and that I let into my circle or whatever. But like sometimes I'm multitasking, doing projects and stuff like that, and I don't always read through everything and understand what is being communicated completely. So my apologies, Colee, and I'm really
that's
sorry
all
to
right.
hear about it.
I almost like, as much as I like to talk, when I'm so freaked out, I shut off. Biscuits, Bubba, how are you?
I know.
I'm gonna slap the fuck out of that Allison bitch, but anyway.
You missed that earlier, Biscuit.
He'll see it later. So
okay. But hold on. They told you first that they were going to keep you overnight, and you didn't have anything on your fucking MRI, and they wanted to give you steroids for 2 days, and then you say you're in the hospital 5 days later, and that's when you reached out to me.
Probably like the second day in, because I wasn't getting it because so they send this. So anyway, this is still my first night. Like I just like I can't even make this shit up. It's like, are you kidding me? So with all the noise, they're not changing my room. Oh, we'll do it tomorrow. We'll do it. Okay. So I finally fall asleep. It's like 3:30 in the morning. I hear all this noise. It's the nurses' station. They're having a party, the nurses. Screaming, laughing, yelling. I was like so exhausted. I'm like barely dragging my ass to the door. And I was like, can you please take your party down the street? Like it is so loud. So this one younger nurse is rocking back and forth on a chair that's not a rocking chair. And she goes, okay. I was ready to fucking lunge at her.
I believe you.
I was like, keep your cool, Nicole. You're in a hospital. There's cameras everywhere. I was like, no. Finally, the other nurses were looking. Not one apologized. Not one. Still, and I was like, can somebody fix his fan? Oh, we called for service to come up. He came the day I was leaving 5 days later, just so you know. So then the next day, they send the neurologist in. This little lady, I guess her name should have told me it all, Dr. Marks, little Russian lady. Everything I ask her, I don't know. You probably have MS. I said, no. Like, what else could it be? I don't know. I don't know. And I'm like, can you stop crying and be a doctor? Like, tell me what's going on. What else could it be if it's not MS? They said the MRI was fine. You need the steroids for 5 days. I don't know. It's probably MS. I said, stop wishing MS on me. You got to stop. Like, tell me something else. Give me positive. Maybe idiosyncrasy, but for your age, you're a woman, probably MS. And then she leaves the room. So then they're like, oh, within the next day, you got to get a lumbar puncture so we could really tell. Yeah. Now I'm shitting myself because I told you like what my sister went through. And I'm like, I literally felt like I've never felt before, pure blind faith in God. And I was no fear. You keep telling me I have no fear. And then my sister out in Pennsylvania, her whole amphitheater church of 1,000 people, they were praying for me.
Right.
I was praying and I was like, no fear. God, you got me. I know it. No fear. That lumbar puncture was fucking torture. Yeah, they're always, MS, right? So I get through that. They're not going to tell me anything for like over a week with those results because those take a long time. And I'm like, I'm not staying here that long. But they still felt they needed to keep me on the the steroid drip so I don't lose my vision. So they're talking to me in that manner where I'm scared that there could be something that I could still lose my vision, where nobody's saying your MRI is clear and there's nothing more we can do until we get the results of the lumbar puncture that you obviously did not need. I'm just saying. They were not very clear with me. Every doctor that worked for the hospital that came in the room was like, you probably have MS. I'm like, could it be a medicine I'm on? Could it be anxiety? I mean, anxiety masks itself as a lot of things, right? I
Right.
mean, you
Lost
get
your
weird
sister.
stuff.
I mean,
And I'm like, I don't understand. Like, I miss my son. Like, now there's rules at the hospital that if you're under 18, the nurse has to allow a child to come in, which my son was 15, and he's more mature than the nurses, and he's only allowed to stay a half hour. So the ride is like horrific traffic. So my husband has to go from one side all the way to the other. Takes probably, which should take 20 minutes, takes like an hour and 10 minutes. Then as big as this hospital is and everything, to get them there, for the people that, give you like the guest pass or sign you in, they're like, no, he can't come in. We have to call the nurses station. It's like, he has permission. He's only allowed to stay a half hour. Oh, because there was a toddler that was running around and made a problem. So now I'm like, toddler, 15-year-old are two different entities. Toddler and a 10-year-old, toddler and a 7-year-old. It's not. How about the people that brought the obnoxious toddler that was bothering other patients? Why don't you just kick them out? Not everybody's kid is bad. And I needed my son with me. He's my strength and everything. He is my rock. Even though he's a kid, he's my rock. He's my true rock. So I was just like, I can't believe these people are doing it to me. And then whenever the doctor comes in, any doctor, and I'm like, well, can it be this? Or, perimenopause, like, my body's getting weird and things are changing and, and I don't like it. And it's like, you probably have MS. And I'm like, all right, you got to stop with the MS. So then this one doctor, she comes in the room and is going, more than likely you have MS. And I'm thinking, how could you say that? You don't have anything that's telling you that. You have nothing. Just because you think I have optic neuritis because the first eye doctor said that. You're just going by an eye doctor. She's no specialist. She's not a retina specialist. She's not an optic neurologist. She's just an eye doctor. That maybe does cataract surgery. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you put me through an optic MRI and an MRI, and it was clear. Why are you keeping me? So I'm like now I'm like kind of the days are getting mushed together. So I'm just hanging out. I will say the food service people were lovely. They were my friends. They were the nicest. They didn't tell me I had MS. They were fabulous. They were really nice. They would
Was
have
the food any good?
It was for hospital food, and then
Okay, good.
they gave me the hookup too. Like when I needed more coffee or something, they came back. They were hooking me up. They were cool. You want 2 desserts? I was like, yeah. Not that it was great, but it was something.
Right, with all the stress you're going
Because
through.
I'm freaking out, and so like eating's my thing. It was just terrible. I gotta stop. But I was just like, I can't believe this. So the one doctor comes back and she's like, it really, you're just going to have to deal with this when you realize that it's MS and all these things. And I'm like, but what else could it be? Well, I don't really know. Maybe nothing, but no, it's probably MS. I go, oh, great. So should I just like jump off a cliff now? Or, like, what's the point of living now? You guys are freaking me out. Did you really mean that? Because I'm going to have to write things. And they were going to like, and I'm like, it's a figure of speech. I'm like, no, I'm fine. My son is my world. I'm like, no, I'm not going to jump off a cliff. I was like, that's, I'm probably saying you're a fucking retard. But I couldn't. I wanted to. Then every morning, the little Dr. Marks, how are you today? I don't know. You tell me. You're the doctor. You probably have MS. And I'm
Oh
like,
my gosh.
stop saying it. Stop wishing it on me. No fear. Get out. Stop. No. So I'm freaking out. So then I get this one nurse who's not so kind. And now she's refusing to give me my medicine my personal stuff. And I was having a really bad moment with anxiety, which was as needed, right? She told me no. So now she's making me freak even more because she's not giving me what's as needed because she's too lazy. Then water spilt on my blanket, so I got up because I'm bored, and I asked her if I could please get another blanket. Water spilt all over it. She goes, they're over there. I go, oh, in that cart that's zipped up for sanitary purposes? Yeah, go take one of them. I'm like, okay. So then I see the patient advocate card. So I call the patient advocate lady. I go, you really need to come up here now. So in the meanwhile, some other lady starts walking in my room with her little push computer, all dressed and whatever. She's like, so, um, let's talk about how you're going to make payments. I'm like, payments? I don't even have a fucking diagnosis. Get the fuck out of my room right now, because now I'm about to lose my shit. How dare you come at me for payments when you take illegals and everybody else? And I have insurance, and you know all of my history, because I got signed in here. You want to make a payment arrangement with me with no fucking get the fuck. Then I lost it. I totally lost it. I'm
Was this
like,
day 5?
huh?
What day was this?
That was probably like day 2. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. It was soon into it. Worried about making payments. I have insurance. You need my insurance card. You need my driver's license. You need this. You need that. Blah, blah, blah. You need all the shit about me to admit me, to even have a doctor look at me. And this bitch wants to come and make insurance. Medical payments. It didn't
Right.
even.
You don't even
There was no
know
billing
what
to
this
the
is going to
insurance
entail.
company. Like, who does that? Now they're setting me off. Like, I'm feeling like I'm crazy. So I had the patient advocate come, and she's like, "Oh, that's terrible, that noise." I go, "Yeah, try sleeping with it. Try being with it 24/7, freezing or sweating." It was so horrific. It was just, I don't know why they would treat anybody like that. So, and I'm telling her all these things, like between the nurse's station party, nobody's giving me an answer, blah, blah. So I still had that lovely nurse. And I said, I really need to take a shower. My husband came, brought up more clothes for me and stuff. And she's like, "Oh, no, you can't take one. There's a shower." Oh, what? What do you mean I can't take one? There's no, what restrictions? Nobody knows what's wrong with me, except I probably have MS, according to the doctors. But what do you mean I can't? No, you're not. You can't. I'm like, I'm here for days. I need a freaking shower. I just need like water on me. Nope, would not let me take a shower. So then it's basically every other doctor. Yeah. It could be anything, but you probably have MS. And here I go again, praying my brains out. So the 5th day, as I'm getting ready to go, the service little engineer guy comes in to fix the room because they never changed it. They're like, "Yeah, just go on with your life." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, you guys had me all freaked out that I'm losing my vision. I probably have MS. What do I do now?" "Oh, just go home and live your life." Okay, so why was I here 5 days? Like, things started to be like a blur to me. Like, I was scared to go out in the sunlight. I was scared to walk. Like, it was just like a jail. Like, I guess solitary confinement could really fuck somebody up, because this was horrific. And like the way the lights are with those, like they mess with you. So like going out in the sun, I was just like holding on to my husband and everything. I felt so gross. I was like, "Boy, this must be true love, huh?" And he's like, "I told you there's nothing wrong with you." So I get home and I'm like looking at my discharge papers. They tell me that I should see an optic neurologist, and they give me a name and a number. That's not the right doctor. Now, this is a huge, like the biggest hospital in this state. They give me the wrong doctor to check up with.
An optoneurologist?
Yeah. And it was just like, go on with your life. Continue taking your vitamins and supplements as you had. See your regular doctor. There was nothing of significance that you need this, you need that. And somewhere along the lines, now I don't know who the discharge doctor was, because you never see them when you're being discharged. It's just the nurse letting you go. Because I had questions, but then again, I was just happy to get the fuck out of there. So I'm looking on the thing, and it was like idiosyncrasy. So they knew that the whole time, but they kept trying to scare me to MS, and my lumbar puncture results still aren't coming back. Now, like my bestie from work, her husband unfortunately does have MS. And she's like, you keep saying this shit, Nicole, about MS. Like, I'm not getting what you're saying because there's a lot to it. Like, you don't have MS. Like, she's like, I live with somebody that has it. And you can see the signs and the symptoms. I'm with you for years and you don't have it. So I'm like, all right. So then all these results started coming back. So I'm calling her and I'm like, what does this mean? She's like, that's the MS one. I don't have it. I don't have Lyme's disease. I don't have anything. Thank God. Hallelujah to my sister, God, Jesus, anybody but the prayers for me. I am so grateful. There's nothing wrong with me from all these tests. So now, when I had the surgery last summer, I trusted that surgeon. So I called her and she even goes, what the fuck is going on? And I was like, right? And she goes, look for an optic neurologist. And I was like, okay. So I'm trying to find one. They're very hard to come by, but there are optic doctors that are optic neurologists, which are very hard to find. You just have to call places. They just don't go by that. So I went to this one eye group that I've been to before, and I was very impressed with them because they're not like about selling glasses. They're like every flavor of an eye specialist to the 10th degree. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, do you have an optic neurologist? They're like, we do. And they take my insurance. And I was like, yes. So I'm like teary. And now it's like coming up on the anniversary of my sister's death and freaking out. And the lady says to me, you sound really scared. I said, yeah, I am. She says, would you like to see the retina specialist while you're waiting? Because it's going to be like a 3-week wait to see the specialist. I said, well, how soon can he see me? And she said, in like 3 days. I said, okay. So I go to him. I'm sitting there hours doing every test in the world. And these two girls, I guess they're eye doctors training under the retina specialist. And the one comes in the room and she's like, what's wrong? And I was like, I'm just begging you. And I broke down. I started crying. I said, please don't send me back to the hospital. I can't do it. And she's like, hospital? Why would I send you to the hospital? I go, well, with all the stuff with my eye and everything. She goes, no, 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 you're not going, don't cry. You're not going to the hospital. Well, nobody from here would send you to the hospital. You're okay. Like, really, you're okay. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I was just in the hospital for 5 days. They're telling me I have MS with the optic neuritis and all this stuff. And she's going, you're okay. You're okay. So the retina specialist walks in and he's like, so how did you end up in the hospital for 5 days? And then I went through the whole thing and he's like, yeah. He goes, that's very unfortunate. He says, you were overdiagnosed for dry eye and a floater. And I go, I love you. And I started crying and he looked at me like I was a mess. He goes, yeah. And the other doctor goes, sometimes regular eye doctors kind of get their panties in a bunch because they don't know what they're doing. So between going to like one of those medi merges, them sending me out to the other eye doctor who was incompetent, then going to the hospital and they saw ka-ching, ka-ching, let's do this test. I'm surprised they didn't give me a vasectomy while I was there just to make more money. You know what I mean?
Well, I think they tried to make you out to be crazy too. They try to push you to the. I think they do this with a lot of people.
This is what they wanted. Now,
They want you to lose your shit, and then they probably would have dropped the MS and just sent you into the psych ward.
Right. And not only that, I get the hospital bill. I hit my deductible way before I went to the hospital. I owe $4,800 with my co-insurance. For what? I have no fucking clue. I could see I would pay the difference that my insurance didn't cover for the lumbar that was unnecessary. But now I know that I'm in good health. The MRIs, blood work, any of that stuff, the ER visit, I'm okay with paying the difference of that. So now I'm calling billing and I'm telling them, the girl's like, whoa. And I'm like, yeah. So then it's escalated. So I finally get to the top person and she's like, yes, I'm going to send in to the people. So there's like this elitist roundtable that decides of who's gonna pay their bill and who's not, and if they think your bill is right. So after I explained everything to this lady, as calm as could be, she called me back and said, well, no, they're not going to fix anything on your bill because you were billed correctly. I go, how was I billed correctly if I don't have MS and I didn't need the steroids and you destroyed my life, had me away from my son, 5 days in the hospital. Then I missed like another 5 days of work to detox that because now I got like sea legs from being on such strong steroids. Even my son was like, Mommy, are you ever going to drive me again? I was scared to drive. Like my life was on hold big time. Like they don't realize all the repercussions.
Because your legs weren't feeling right?
No, from the steroids. I'm like, well,
And you
like
were sitting
anxiety and
laying in a
stuff.
bed the whole time.
Right. And I'm like not in sunlight and I'm not like with like my salads and my supplements and my water with mint and lemon and like like, and you just start, I'm just like feeling weird and I'm like, how could they do that? Like I'm so happy on the one hand that I got a good bill of health, but why would you do that to somebody? And why, now in hindsight, did they never send an eye doctor?
Right. Never.
So I want an answer from the billing people, from the hospital. Why did you drop the ball on me? You kept sending me Dr. Mark saying, you probably have MS. Yeah. But you never sent an eye doctor. Optic neuritis happens to be with the eye. Yes, it could be a
Neurological.
neuro thing. But if I said my eye felt a little weird, why didn't you have an eye specialist come? You're a hospital. That's what you're supposed to do. Because if he came, he would have sent me the fuck home, not keep me for 5 days, which was unnecessary. So here I'm barely living by the skin of my teeth, paying my way through life, just keeping an apartment over our head, keeping a car, keeping a job, keeping food. And they want to ruin my life. My kid's going to be driving soon. The car insurance is expensive. Boys' car insurance is even higher in my state. But I owe them money and they destroyed me. Like I'm maybe I sound crazy. I just feel, I thank you for letting me talk because I never really got it all out. And it's like my mother's like, well, we could try to help you pay it. And it's like, why would I pay them? I'd rather that money go to my son. Not that I have it. Or if I was really ill and they help me, I would do what I can. They keep sending me bills that they want $260 a month to pay this off. For what? So now again, going back and forth with the head of billing, she goes, well, the people that make the decision said it was right. And they read it within your medical history with the records there. Patient was irate. No, patient was agitated because she didn't have a diagnosis. No shit.
Wow.
Of course I was agitated. Wouldn't you
Right.
be agitated if you didn't
I'd
have a
own the
diagnosis?
shit out of that. I'd be like, fuck yes, I was.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I be? Just look at the fucking what happened.
So now I'm like, this lady's like, well, I went to these people twice. I go, well, who are these people? She's like, well, they give me the answer. I go, well, give me their number or have one of them call me because I want to tell them what happened. Don't tell me my bill is right when you're just sending them an email of whatever I said, and who knows what you're sending. This is not right, and you don't do this to people. And I hope this never happens to you. And if this happened to one of their mothers or one of their sisters or one of their daughters, they wouldn't friggin' like it. I'm like, I want to talk to these people. Well, I don't know who they are. Well, how do they get in touch with you? You obviously know who they are. So she's like, well, you can write a letter of appeal. My brain is too crazy that I can't even focus to write because I start getting shaky and then my mind's like crazy. How do I write? How do I write a letter of all this stuff between the the Medi-Merge place, the bum eye doctor, the ER, I'll give credit, they were good, but the 5-day stay. Like, it was the perfect shitstorm of all these different entities. It's like, where do I start? How do I even go about it? And I hit my deductible. Why are they charging so much? And then my insurance, oh, well, it's 200 a day with your insurance for your co-insurance to be hospitalized. But I hit my deductible. And 200 a day for what? They didn't do anything except give me a steroid and tell me I probably have MS. I don't think that's fair. How
And
is
they
that
tried
fair?
to drive you nuts with a fucking fan that didn't work that they said they were going to fix.
Right. They did nothing trying to and it was hot and freezing. It was the extreme and it did not stop. So here I'm like telling the patient advocate, my voice is shit. I'm like crying. I'm calling her. I'm like, I don't understand how you guys could do this to me. She goes, I know. I remember you. I was in your room. I'm well aware of it. And then she was like, I'll get back to you. She didn't. So I took it upon myself to find the CEO of that hospital.
Okay.
And I found his number, which was not easy to find, but I did. And I called and I explained everything to his assistant in the most proper way possible. And she was like, wow, in your voice, I could hear you are really torn up. I said, I am. I said, and he just needs to know what's going on in his hospital. You don't treat people like that. And she says, all right, well, we'll get back to you, whatever. So the patient advocate lady called me back within a day and she goes, I heard from Mr. Davis and he wanted to know what we could do for you. And I go, well, like I said, I don't not want to pay my bill. I just want to pay a fair bill. I said, and I just want him to know all these wrongs that happened while I was there of what I'm even remembering telling you. There's probably more. Like that shouldn't happen to anybody. I mean, when you're in a hospital, you're already down and your staff shouldn't be kicking people more like that. It's wrong. And she's like, I understand. I understand. She goes, listen, I'm semi-retired. She said, I will definitely call you back though. She never called me back. So now, like a week later, a new lady calls me from Patient Excellence and says, yeah, now she calls me while I'm at work and I'm not ready for this call. And she was like, oh yeah, everything's fine. There's nothing we could do for you. I go, excuse me? I go, let me have your number. I'll call you when I could talk. So I call her and I'm telling her, I go, I don't understand. She's like, oh, well, that patient advocate, she retired. So, I go, yeah, but everything that happened, she goes, well, how do I know that happened? I go, because it's in my notes. And you could ask the lady that was the patient advocate before you. I said, and that, the CEO was supposed to work something with me and all these things. So she says to me, you're quite hostile. And I'm going to have to hang up the phone. This is how I was talking with her. And she was talking with me. I'm going to have to hang up the phone if you keep being hostile. I go, hostile? I go, how am I being hostile? I'm telling you what happened to me in your evil hospital. I go, but I am certainly not hostile. She's like, no, you're really being hostile. And I'm thinking, I didn't say I'm going to drive up there and stick you in the fucking eyes with a fucking fork, did I? I'm telling you how you guys treated me. How was that hostile?
If people don't know what gaslighting is, what Colee experienced is textbook gaslighting from many different staff from a medical facility. Basically, they make you feel like you're fucking crazy or you're the one that's having the problem while they're abusing you emotionally, physically, and financially in this case.
And it's horrific and it's been consuming me because I keep trying to call people and you know what? Nobody cares. It's fuck you, pay me. Fuck you, pay me. Fuck you, pay me is basically all I'm getting. And it's like, how far do I really want to push this? Do I go to the local news? You don't treat people like this. So then I figured, you know what? Just for some kind of brain satisfaction, I called the floor that I was on to speak to the director to let them know what had transpired, how the nurses were acting, and all this stuff. And they're like, why don't you call billing? I go, I'm not calling you about my bill. I'm telling you, I want to speak to the person that is the head of this floor so they're aware of what's going on. Call billing. And it makes me feel like I'm fucking crazy. And like, why would you do this to anybody? So I kept calling billing because I don't want to go to collections, but I want to pay the right bill. That's right. If you pay me. And they sent me to collections, but for $25. So I just paid that for shits and giggles. So now I think I'm only going to pay them $20 a month to the day I die until we could figure this out. Until I could get the right person or write the right letter, but I can't write because my brain is not function like that. I'm not like calm and clear thinking. And then like even my sister was like, well, just like when something comes across your head, like certain points, just send me an email and I'll try to put something together. But it's like I don't want to do that because when I sit and think about it, I just want to cry. And it's like this consumes me. This makes me feel like when I'm home, I never want to leave. Like I'm safe at home. I just want a nice scented candle going, and I just want to hang out in my bed and do what I got to do and do my exercise, do my tai chi, cook and take care of my family. I don't want the outside world. I don't want medical help unless it's just from my regular doctor. I can't trust anybody, and they made such bad trust issues with me, and I just can't believe that between hospitals and doctors, they would let this happen. So then I got this note, a bill from Dr. Marks. So I called and I left her a personal message and I said, I don't know why I should pay you because every time I asked you anything, you do not know. And you already got paid a lot of money from my insurance company and you're getting paid a lot of money from the hospital. So I don't think I'm going to pay you because you don't know nothing. Please call me back. And she's never called me back. And I'm not even checking my mail anymore because I can't. I'm going to start to throw up. I mean, but like,
Are they adding on to this bill?
I don't know, but I did ask them to send me an itemized bill, and I do have to. I think over this weekend, maybe talking maybe well, you guys maybe made it a little bit better, where I could be a little bit more clear minded, or just have like energy from you guys to like give me strength to open them, because I want to go over the itemized bill, and I've even called my insurance company and said I don't think you should pay them because this isn't right. They're like, no, it's right. I go, how is it right? You weren't there. I don't have MS. They were treating me for MS and I don't have it. And they kept me there. Like, how is that right? And they paid $95,000 to this hospital. And they're going to nickel and dime me for $4,800. And it's a charity hospital on top of that. What?
This fucking evil world, that's how they do it, man.
And so when I hear these fucking I'm gonna fight Trump and this and that. Why don't you help us fucking Americans with our health care when my husband wakes up like a jerk off to pay 200 and something dollars a week to pay for us to have the top tier of insurance, which is bullshit because half the your prescriptions are covered. The ones you want to cover, the other ones you don't cover. Like you play all these games, all the money's paid out. I hit co-insurance and you still want more blood out of me. How do you do that? And nobody will talk to me and nobody will listen who's high up. Like I called a lawyer, I explained everything. He said it's very unfortunate. He goes, but it would cost you a lot of money. And I'm thinking to myself, if I was rich, I would just do it. Just for the principle. You don't treat people like this. This I think is pissing me off even more than the money. This is not how you treat people.
Yeah, my mom went through some similar things. It's actually what led to her looking into holistic medicine and supplementation and taking care of her own health in her own hands. She doesn't want to go to the doctors. And I don't blame her.
I
She's got
remember you saying stuff about your mom.
right. I don't know if they actually tried to diagnose her with MS, but they tried all kinds of things, and I know they definitely tried rheumatoid arthritis and started giving her hardcore medication for that shit.
And
she
that
got off
messes you
that.
up.
And yes, and they told her, I think when they tried to put her on that, and she took it for just a little while and got off, they said this is going to take like 10 years of your life. And she doesn't have that shit. So Biscuits said earlier, and what I was thinking about, if you're still going to write this up, don't worry about it. You're getting it out right now. And again, Colee, I am sorry that I didn't realize the gravity of what the situation was. But we're going to get a transcript from this podcast. And we're going to be able to scrape it and utilize your own words to create the document that you're going to need to turn in. So that you're not going to have to write this. We're going to do that.
Are you serious?
Yep. We're going to do that.
Thank you.
We'll get this in writing. We'll get it all written up. It'll be, I mean, this is about as real as it gets as far as you retelling the story. And I know retelling the story creates a lot of trauma in itself. So I just want you to know that we're here for you as much as we can be. And that, yes, we're going to get a transcript from this.
I love you guys. All of you.
Yep. We'll be able to help submit it. And if we'll do whatever we can. Biscuits has some other ideas. He understands this stuff.
Yeah, I kind of almost like wanted to like I didn't know how to go about it because like sometimes I think like he seems like the person that would understand, but I don't want to seem weird. But it's like I tell my husband, I know this is like weird, but it's like you guys are my other friends and family. Like even though I don't like personally like physically know you, like the entire chat, like I always write, I love my Booma family. Like I do. I love you all. I love you, Dorian. I love Biscuits. I love Heather. I love everybody. Like I don't know. This is just a place where I feel like we're all on the same level, and we're all just we get each other. Like it was like a really unique thing how you came up, other than your CIA days with, Mike Gill.
Right. But you were there for all of that, right?
Yes, I was. You were just somebody in the chat too.
Right.
And that's like I kept with you at Ophelia, and it was like good. Like then I realized you had a thing, so I followed you, and it's like, and I'm not a social media person at all, but I just, you feel people's energy, and then when you brought out that Sabrina Wallace hot thing, and it was like, wow, I don't understand what the fuck she's saying, but I like it, like
That's
I
how
feel her, I get it, Crystal, even Solana. I mean, I barely, just like within the chat, there's just so much love. Carlton, like just, it's a weird thing. And my husband just laughed. Like I said, don't come out in your underwear when you go to get water tonight. And he's like, why? I go, because I'm going to be online with my computer friends. And he's like, okay,
I want to change that terminology a little bit because it does sound a little weird when you say it like that.
But it's like, it's not like I'm going to hang out, like I'm going to meet up with you guys at the restaurant, and it's like he gets it, like
right.
he but I can't talk too much about it to him because he gets angry.
Yes,
and
he
he's like,
experienced it too in his own way, and I'm sure he was very worried about you, and he was very angry about how you were being treated. And it's a tough that when you're in fear and they do that kind of stuff to us, like, because I've been in my own medical things. That's part of also why I woke up when I went through my crap in Oregon that brought me here to Missouri, where I'm at now. I heard all my mom's stories and stuff like that. And you only understand so much until you personally start going through some of this shit with some of these psychopathic doctors and people that know that they have some kind of leverage on you because they're protected by some evil fucking Rockefeller system or whatever you want to say.
It legit is. It's like you can't even talk to the people that make the decision on what your bill should be. How is that possible? How is that even fair? Like, I'm not.
They expect most people not to do anything, to not fight. And then, like Biscuits said, if you just pay a little bit of this, that's still you complying to a way. So we need. And
that's what I don't want to do.
Right. We need to establish something. So, like, trust me, we'll work on this when we finish the podcast and whatnot. transcript is done and we can get this put together in a way that it's gonna,
So I'm not being ridiculous because you know me, I
absolutely.
wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'm just telling you, like, what even I mean, even the fact that my mother's like, what is she crying for? Talking about the neurologist. Why did she not know? Like, and my mom worked out of hospital and medical records a very long time. So, she's kind of pro hospital, but she was not thrilled with that. And, too, it's just that, like, how much more of a lashing, not to be like poor me and poor my family to take, but my sister suffered a lot
Yeah.
at the hands that, should have never suffered. And it's like, I'm already missing a piece of me. And that they would do that again. And it's, there's always those signs, but I just felt like, they legit scared me good. If it was another situation, I'd be like, you're nuts, and I would have walked out. But when you're telling me my eye and MS and, and in the meanwhile, like, I didn't hit menopause yet, but maybe it'll be coming. So it's like you start to feel weird, and it's like, you know, my mom didn't have any issues. My oldest sister, she had like that shot thing, and then it's like once she got off it, she was done. And I lost my other sister, so and we were more alike in that sense. So it's like I don't know who to talk to, like with the weirdness, and so it's like you just start to believe them and that they totally took advantage. And it's like I don't know who to be more mad at. Am I more mad at the guy that sent me to the eye doctor, the very first doctor? And then I called the eye doctor's office, and I wanted to speak to the office manager, and they're like, "Oh no, she's busy right now." I said, "Okay, I'll call back because I would really like to speak with her." I said, "Please tell me when's a good time to call." So I guess they heard in my voice I was agitated, and they called me back, and it was the girl that was snippy with me at the eye doctor's office telling me that I had to come back. And I said, "Listen, I don't want to speak with you. I want to speak to the office manager." And she's like, "Well, I'm the doctor's assistant." I go, "I don't care whose assistant you are. I want to speak to the office manager." "Yeah, but this is about the doctor that you're calling about." I go, "But I want the office manager to be aware of how this doctor is, that she's incompetent." Like, why couldn't she even just say, "Listen, worst comes to worst, you might have to go to the ER to get an optic MRI because you can't wait to get an appointment, but let me have my partner look at you, or let me call a specialist." That's all she had to do. If she would have had a retina specialist see me, this would have been done. And then they could have made the determination if I really needed to go. But in hindsight, I didn't know that. And I was so scared. I didn't even have time to call my doctor to be like, "Hey, do you know what I mean?" Like it just well, it just happened so fast, and I got so freaked out. And
Yeah.
then some of my clients are nurses, and like when I'm telling them what happened, they were like, "Why didn't you call me?" I'm like, "My I was too busy praying and having no fear to not have MS." I'm like, and I didn't want to burden anybody. And they like when I'm telling them that, they're like, "Why would they do that?" Now these are all medical professionals that don't even work with the eye, and they already know better. But the
Yep.
hospital didn't. Like that burns my ass even more. And that they don't even care. The CEO doesn't care. I'm told I'm being hostile.
Yep. Because they're gaslighting you and they're putting you into a fear state and they're traumatizing you and they're pushing you to the edge. Um, a lot of people have experienced this. Before I really knew how far this was going to go, and I didn't realize it was even as bad as what I now know it as. And I'm again sorry about your sister and all the other stuff that compounded this. I don't. Do you think what happened with your sister was a bunch of this kind of treatment to the point where like it broke her spirit, or do you think that there was some medical issues that she just always had because of that one really
She
bad medical
She
treatment.
had medical, like she basically started off with scoliosis. And back in the day when I think she was about 16, she was dead on, went to the Children's Specialized Hospital in New York, and they did the most up-to-date surgery at the time where they put two little metal rods down her spine and she was fine. But years later, like she was able to have her son, but she had to have a C-section because they didn't want that to tear. And she was always like, like the arthritis kind of thing. By having those bars in your back, you feel the coldness and you feel the weather. She could tell you if it was going to rain, snow. She was right on with it too. She was very in tune. Um, so then years later, at this point she was divorced and she's driving to go to work and take care of her son and keep her, house. And she's like, she went to break and she wasn't feeling her feet. And she started freaking out. So she started to develop neuropathy. Then she went to like some specialist. I'm sure you heard of Princeton, New Jersey, where it's like the elite of the elitist doctors are there. And her and my dad, went all the way down there and got the best surgeon, went to Lenox Hill in New York, best hospital for all that. He went and redid some of the hardware and everything. And ever since that surgery, she wasn't the same. And then with like all the testings, and I mean like diagnostic testing, not blood testing. And with her having myelograms, they put too many needles, and somehow, some way, she ended up disabled in that sense, with the spinal cord leakage, which is called acneritis. And then it's like her nerves turned to horse mane. So sometimes she would just fall because, I mean, it was horrible to see somebody young. It was horrible for my nephew, like starting college, and his mom's tough, but her fiance still stuck strong with her and he married her. They went out to Vegas, they saw Sting. She was so happy and so beautiful, but she was always in pain and it was constant pain. And she was a very good advocate for herself, and my father was always behind her with everything. And they're like, she was really smart. She's street smart and book smart. My oldest sister's straight up book smart. This one, she had it all. Um, and I miss her so bad. Like I need her here with this. And she fought doctors. She finally found one doctor because they don't go against each other. One doctor that actually said somebody screwed her up, which was like the ultimate cause of why she was in the situation she was in. Granted, she had some things, but they made it worse. Once you have spinal cord leakage, there's nothing you could do for that. You just feel, and you're in constant pain. And she didn't want to be on like opioids and shit like that because she wanted to live her life. So she's
Right.
tough. It was hard for her to sleep a lot. I mean, and then it took her forever too to get disability. She's like, how can I sit? I need to lay down every couple hours. And basically, when she found out that it was spinal cord leakage, that was a natural thing that your body has to lay back down to like get it circulated right again.
The synovial fluid, right? Reset it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, that was a lot for my parents to go through, and my nephew who didn't deserve that. That's another reason why I love Biscuits because I don't know if Biscuits was with my sister because I swear my nephew could look like he could be Biscuits' son. He's like a good 6'4", and when he has his beard and the glasses, he looks like he could be my nephew's father. It's just if Biscuits plays basketball, that'll put me over the edge. Is he a baller?
He
Biscuits,
might be. I don't know. He's
do you
got a
like
lot of tricks up his
gymnastics?
sleeve.
Because it's just, and it's like that deep voice, but it's so like soft when they speak. Like there's just like a lot of some. That's another reason why I love Biscuits. But yeah, it's like I just don't understand. Like things could be a lot worse in life, and I totally get that. or like even with your mom, like that kills me. Like, why would they do that to her? Even the my my good friend at work, she's almost like a sister to me. Um, they put her on rheumatoid, and she has a lot of celiac and all that stuff. It was ruining her kidneys. And then she went to another doctor. They're like, "You don't have rheumatoid arthritis. Why did they put you on that medicine?" There's
Right.
no responsibility. And
Yeah.
this happened to your mom. This happens to people I know. How many people in the chat it happens to? How come nothing, like, what do we do
Right.
besides pay and be assholes?
Right. Well, that's what they want us to do. They don't want us to they want to just break us, or they want us to go too far and do something else. Because there was a point where I was explaining what was going on with my body when I was like losing the feeling in my arms and the usage of my arms. They would just drop to my side, and I couldn't I couldn't feel them. And
Right.
like it was stuff like that was happening along amongst other things or whatnot. I was like trying to drive to the hospital, and I'd lose like the feeling in my right leg and my right arm. So I have some issues with driving myself now. Still trying to get over some of that like PTSD that happened, because it comes back sometimes and sometimes I'm fine. But I'm sitting there like listening to this doctor, and he's like, "I've looked over your test results," and I'm like, "Okay, this is like the fucking 8th doctor that I've seen, you know," and he's a young kid. And I brought a friend with me this time so that I had a fucking witness, because some of the shit that I was experiencing with the way that I was being treated, I couldn't believe it. Anyways, I'm sitting there and I've told them all this stuff, and I had gas leaks in my house. It was proven that there was gas leaks in this apartment underneath my room. I don't know if that's what it was. There's probably a bunch of things, but I would just want some people to fucking hear me out on all the possibilities so that we can make fucking diagnosis of what the fuck is going on. And he's like, and then he's like, he leans in and he's like, I've looked at your history, and I think that you just need to get back on psych meds. And I looked at this fucker, and for a moment, I'm like, I'm going to headbutt him right in his fucking nose and break that fucking thing really fucking bad right now. And then my friend was just like, let him have it a little bit or whatever. And then it fucking eased me off. But for a moment there, and he had a nurse in there for his advocate.
Good.
And she was pretending like she was doing stuff like up in the covers. But after he said that, I realized she was there as a witness too. And I'm glad I didn't do what I did, or what I was thinking about doing. But for a moment there, like I was at the point like where you were talking about, where you're like, I'm gonna do something to somebody about real quick, because you motherfuckers are just gaslighting me and making me feel fucking crazy. And I almost fucking headbutted this motherfucker, and I didn't do it, thank God, because
And
it
then you
wouldn't pay
wonder,
off in the end.
who was he getting with the pharmaceutical? He was getting paid off if he put you on that medicine, just like your mom's doctor. Did he get a cut for putting your mom on that?
I bet. Yep, they're probably pushing that shit. It was probably the high price drug to put somebody on for the insurance to bill and make some money. Then when I had finally made the decision, and I really couldn't work at the time because I was so fucked up, and I was just like psychologically also fucked up. Like,
Yeah, because they're telling you there's
right,
nothing wrong with you in a sense when you know your body and you know there's something wrong. And honestly, that makes a lot of sense with the gas because that affects your nerves.
right. And so when I finally made the decision, and I talked to my family, and I was moving over here to Missouri because I needed a place to recover and stuff like that. And there's some things, you guys see me, I'm fidgety and I'm still working through some stuff. Just the joy that I had of knowing that I was going to go to a safe place finally, because I'd been living on my own. I couldn't pay rent anymore and needed a lot of assistance and my medical shit and all that kind of stuff. And I had a horrible manager at the time that was fucking with me too and causing more trauma. Anyways, that got me through for a while. And then when I got planted here in Missouri, then it all settled in, and I started to relive like what you just did here. It's tough to think about all the shit that you went through, that a lot of people in the chat have been sharing stories that have been horrific. But when you start reliving that stuff and you start actually trying to like get your pieces back together, we're still a little fucked up from it. I think there'll always be a bit of us, and that's what's always, as much as I have found a doctor now that I like enough, I don't know if I'll ever trust the medical at all ever again. Sometimes it seems necessary for certain things. Obviously, there's
Yes,
breaking
I
bones,
agree.
and there's certain stuff that happens, accidents, all kinds of stuff. Okay, we can get into that. But this situation that we have going on with this like insurance stuff and them misdiagnosing and gaslighting and fucking traumatizing people and shit like that, I have a fire still in me that when I start reliving my shit, I don't talk about it much on this channel.
So
Never
you
got really
understand
into full
exactly what I'm saying.
I fucking get it. I fucking get it.
Thank
But they
you.
just kept on. I would kept driving to the emergency room while I was using my left foot to use the gas and the brake for the first time ever. Thankfully, I had an automatic because I don't know what I would do with a manual. But I was driving up there with no feeling and usage of my right arm and my right leg not working properly. And I'm driving 30 minutes to this hospital when they told me I could have gone to the one more locally. But then I'm like, yeah, but then it would have fucking cost more.
Right.
And it's just like all that shit. I get to the fucking emergency room, finally get in to see a doctor, and then the doctor fucking gaslights me. I had a big old fucking bump the size of a golf ball coming off the back of my head, and a one at the top of my thoracic fucking vertebrae, and fill up with fluid when I was feeling like all fucked up. And it was like making it so I couldn't feel fucking shit, and like my arm would go numb, and fucking I could have stabbed it with a fucking fork and not felt anything, kind of a deal. And then this woman like puts on a glove and touches it. She's like, "Oh yeah, you got a cyst back there." I'm like, "Bitch, this isn't a fucking cyst." And so like I pissed at her and I
There's
lost my
something
fucking nerve.
wrong.
But this was like multiple ER doctor visits and stuff like that. And then another guy come in for a second opinion, and he was a dick too. And so then I had some lady that worked at this hospital telling me that I could file a complaint and all this shit. And she'd already had some complaints with these people that she told me about. And I thought things were like cool in the sense that like, and then I was like you. I was like, I don't want to get anyone fired. I'm going through a lot of shit I don't understand. I just want somebody to take a look at me and give me a serious diagnosis. And then it like turns out, you know, they don't take my blood for like days and days after the potential gas leak. And they're like, well, you don't have carbon monoxide. I'm like, I might not have had carbon monoxide. I might just add a whole lot of natural gas in my fucking apartment because there was 2 leaks right underneath my fucking room that could have like affected my oxygen at times. Yes. And then I had these other issues. Anyways, like we relived this shit. It's so fucking traumatizing. I got no results. I got an attorney at one point, and then what happened? COVID, and then the attorney backed out, and I could never get another one to take me seriously. And so I was just fucking done with it. But I was ready to sue the fuck out of anybody I could, and it probably wouldn't have mattered. But the attorney that I had, fucking when COVID hit, he had other shit, and he disconnected from me, and I had moved to a different state, so it made it harder for his job.
And he might have not been able to practice in the state you're now.
Yep. So there were issues, but I'm like, motherfucker, you told me to fucking move out of that fucking place. I had nowhere to go other than my families, but get me out of the fucking state. Now it's just like a deal with it. So I fucking paid that shit and fucking wiped my hands of it. And it's a lesson that I fucking learned. But now when I'm listening to your shit and I'm seeing all these people in the chat that have gone through bullshit with their family members or themselves personally, yeah, we're going to fucking take the transcript from this and take out the parts that's necessary. And then we're going to fucking make sure that we can help you submit this. And we'll do whatever we can as a community to support you.
Thank you. I'm still baffled. Like, why would you do any of this? Like, I was 25, and it's like nobody knows your body better than yourself. And there was something wrong with my foot. Granted, I stand all day, whatever. I was 25. Granted, I was a lot heavier then too, but still. Remember, what was it? Vioxx was the big thing for anti-inflammatory that went to shit, that medication. It was like killing people or something. They put me on it. Then they're like, oh, no, you're fine, you're fine. Then one day I woke up and I called my mom at work. I said, Ma, if I had this pain on the other side of my back because of all the pressure from my foot trying to stay off of it, I would think I was having a heart attack. She's like, you get your ass to the ER right now. I go, I'm hobbling on one foot and it's up a hill. Like you have to park down a hill and hobble all the way. Makes no sense for a hospital, right? So I get there and the girl in the ER is like, no, you got to go to outpatient. And I'm like, I can't even get there. And she was like, you got to go to outpatient. They sent me back and I'm like, what is going on? And then I called my mother and I'm like, I don't understand. Like, they're not helping me. She's like, go back into the ER. And I did. And I was telling them again, and they had me see a doctor. I had a blood clot.
Fuck.
So I was going on for like a month of all these misdiagnoses. Then they were telling me to go somewhere else and not in the ER. And the ER doctor was the only one that was able to figure it out to give me a venous Doppler that, went past my knee so they could see it.
Fuck.
So I could have died then too, like nobody's responsible. And then, it just had to pay what you had to pay.
Right.
It's like, how do you do this to people? My son, I was never like anti-vaxxer. I always thought there was certain ones that were good for certain reasons. Now I'm really question that. So when a baby's born, they want to give them all these shots, and their
Right.
bodies are this big, right? And they get the same amount that an adult would get in a vaccine. They were giving the babies 4 at a time, like every couple months. But I just didn't feel right about it. But then when he was 7 months, he got 4 of them. And he wasn't right. He was just crying, miserable, fever. It was the night before his first Thanksgiving. I didn't know what to do. I just went to the ER.
Right.
Nobody could figure out what was wrong with him. But then being there, he developed MRSA. I never saw angry red until I seen MRSA. This thing came in the back of his neck, could have went to his brain. And to this day, he was hospitalized for MRSA, but no one's told me why he was there originally. So he spent a week in the hospital as 7 months old. I only left when my sister, my mother were there, my husband, so I can go home and take a shower to go right back to stay with him again. And they had to actually have an ENT drain this thing without any kind of Novocaine, this little baby. And thank God he doesn't remember, but I'm kind of like a germaphobe now too because of that. But
Sure.
bad enough he suffered having the MRSA and how gross that hospital was. What happened to him that he ended up there to get the MRSA?
Right.
It's still a mystery to me 15 years later. They don't know shit. Then I was telling my dentist some of the stuff that happened, and he goes, I gotta tell you, my some of my friends have like spouses that work at like a Medi-Merge kind of place. He goes, the majority of them are shit doctors. And he said the same thing as my regular doctor. Oh, well, just talk to billing and, they'll work something out with you. It doesn't work like that anymore. They live in a different world because I think they are good, honest doctors that they would help a patient, but not when you're with a big business and with these Medi-Merges that are connected to hospitals and all these things. It's just a shakedown. And and I hate to like be like this, but it's our government. It's all the lobbyists. No term limits. And
Yep.
the pockets just get fatter and fatter and we keep getting fucked. And then our insurance is not going to fight for us for the hospital like with me because they get a kickback too.
Yep. The whole fucking world's run by a cartel and AI at this point.
Well, that's going to backfire on a lot. They opened one right by me, a couple miles away, and the people in that town had a town meeting, and was asking the politicians in that town like, what the hell? They're like, oh, we didn't know anything about it. Oh, you mean you didn't know anything about it when they were putting cash down your pants? You didn't know anything about it,
right? Easy to not know anything about it when you're getting a little kickback.
It's like what has to finally break to make people hear us? And I'm sad that you kind of went through the same thing, and you're saying there's other people in the show.
Well, there's a lot of people like that's when you said that you want to talk about this. I'm like, let's talk about it because I never knew it happened. And like I said, next time if you end up in a situation like that, you tell me, Dorian, motherfucker, call me now.
Right.
And I won't fucking know because sometimes I'm fucking a little half brain going through messages and stuff. I didn't know it was this bad. And when I say AI and shit like that, there is evil overlord AI and all that kind of shit that they use for their evil purposes. And I'm using this shit. People always attack me. You see this shit? That's a fucking bone saw. I ain't fucking around. Like, we're doing this shit Naughty Ninja style, and we're fucking gonna make a stand, and I'm gonna use some of their tools fucking against them. And you saw, if you didn't see the intro, you see what happens with that big old syringe that Colee's carrying in there. Yeah, someone gets that. But anyways, we'll scrape this. We gotta fucking fight with everything that we can, because here, with what I hear Sabrina talking about, and some of these people that she's pointing to are talking about, AI is in a lot of ways already making medical decisions. Doctors are just stay brain dead. They can just fucking turn to the computer, put in whatever they think they need to put in. You know, you might have something going on with your eye or whatever, but they add their own little sauce, and then the AI tells them what they want them to do. The AI is probably looking at the insurance, what we can bill, what we can do, what's the, you know, the all these things. I don't know how they have it fucking.
My friend just told me that yesterday, that her doctor can't figure out what's wrong with her. He used the AI. I do like the little.
Yeah, some of it's fucking fun, but that's just the fun shit. But yes, these motherfuckers are lazy as fuck, and then they don't have any human responsibility. So they already control the courts. They already control the whole fucking law system. So, like, we don't really get much help there, but we as a people have to stand up and use the tools that we can use against them. We will scrape this shit, use it to fucking create this document. But we got to keep doing this, because at some point they're going to be wanting to put wearables on us. They're going to offer us, I think, the temptation, from what I'm understanding, around that 2030 time frame. They're going to all of a sudden have all these cures for all these fucking ailments. But you got to fucking basically submit to their system, which is kind of sounding like what some Christians might call the beast system. I don't know. Let's not get all religious on it. We don't even have to even go there. What it looks like it's rolling out is that they'll fucking be monitoring us all the time. They're already doing it, but they want us to publicly know and consent to doing it now. They've been doing it for a long time. So when they talk about, you probably have MS, they have the technology easily to know exactly what's going on with you.
Right.
They also have the technology to fucking cure us, help us, fucking send frequencies of healing. You ever heard of Rife and all that kind of shit? Whatever you think of Rife, I don't fucking know all that stuff, but I'm telling you, like, they have these technologies and these abilities to do better for humanity, but that's not what they want. And they got eugenics programs. They got genocide to fucking commit.
And there's such easy things that are out there. Like, this is how I believe it. God created everything on this earth to help us. And like, I think back at like things that my grandmother said, it was like weird, but that's how she cured whatever, but it worked. And every medicine is a plant derivative, right? So it's like, my regular doctor, I respect him a lot. He, will tell you about certain supplements and, like, the better ones that you want. And so it's like, I'm having my faith. I'm saying, like I've started saying in the hospital, I have no fear. I take these things that have like 900 different kinds of mushrooms in them to make sure things don't grow and keep us healthy. It's like, I'm just, everybody has vices. Everybody has this or that. We breathe the air. Oh God, that's another whole 7 hours. But it's like, I feel like we're all attempting to try to do something. It's like, I'm even like taking all the time in the world with all the multitasking and cooking. It's like, I'm chopping up fresh, organic, Italian parsley, because that's supposed to be really good for you. I'm like putting that in all my food. Like, just, if I need a snack, I'll just eat a small baked potato, just because of all the nutrients and the vitamins in it. It's like, nobody's telling us to do things like that. We're like, we need to help ourselves. Or even like what Sabrina was saying, in the piloerection and all that. It's like, after all this happened and things just started to click, it's like, that's when I started getting into the Tai Chi. I got into that thing called Human Garage, where it's like a 15-minute stress relief. It's breathing and turning certain ways as you're doing deep breathing. And it's like, I must look like such an asshole when I do it. But like I tell you, my chiropractor says it's been working. So that's a good thing, that for all the years I went to him and He's never said that to me before, and he's like super impressed. But it's like there's obviously something about Tai Chi and the ancient medicines that do
Yeah.
things. You know all about acupressure because that's what you did. Like there are a lot of things, and it's like we
Yeah,
can
different
heal
different
ourselves.
modalities call it different things. You know, you got your chi points and your chi lines and the uh, uh, other energy fields, the way that the body is constructed or whatnot, depending on how you treat it. Especially when it comes to, I didn't obviously ever do acupuncture, but it's the same thing with acupressure.
I
The way
love
that you
it.
interact with these things and open up the energy channels. A lot of this stuff could be blocked by the technologies that they have. So they could be making us sick, making us ill, causing a lot of these issues as well. Some of the stuff that Sabrina and the center just point out. And Sabrina is here. And if you go to the, like what you're doing with Tai Chi and this breathing and stuff like that is, you know, I'm not saying it's the same thing. It's there's a different way that Sabrina teaches her classes, but you learn some of that biofield concurrence. That's what I'm saying. Like, we don't have a lot of great human to human connection with people anymore. A lot of it's done over the internet. And then a lot of us are just like, go to our jobs or do our thing during the day and then get the fuck away from people.
But see, that's what I'm lucky. I'm being a hairdresser. I'm touching people all day long,
Right. That's
which
what I
is
was with
nice and
massage.
feel good.
I had tough clients and I had people that didn't give a fuck about me. They just saw me like almost like a slave or whatever it is.
Oh yeah,
But you work with a lot of people too that are it's the crazy thing is, and I've been to a lot of therapy, Colee. I've been to a lot of therapy because of my addiction
nobody's
and a
like
lot of
us.
my mental issues. But the therapy that you get from hairdressing or massage therapy or some of these modalities, we are almost more therapeutic than an actual therapist.
We are. Somebody could come in and look like death rolled over, and you just cut their hair and blew it out the right way. It looked like they put on makeup and they looked like $1,000,000 because they all of a sudden felt better about themselves. And even like a psychologist who comes to my job and we were laughing. I'm like, you know, your patients tell us more than they'd ever tell you. She's like, I absolutely believe that. I'm like, yeah, they're very free to let us know about everything and things that are way too much information. But I take it to the grave. I don't go, I'm not a rat. I don't eat cheese like that. But it's like,
Right.
wow, I didn't need to know that. But some days I do need to sit in my car for like 5 minutes in silence before
Oh, you do the silence thing. You know, just don't sit in there like, ah,
I got to just
while
kind of
you're
breathe
honking
in.
your horn, and then you get out. All right, I'm good now.
Right.
You go silence and you do breathing.
Yes, I have.
I used to like go into my
And then I
freaking
got to see
the
this little
ninja
group.
pup.
Ninja Pup is
Yes,
here.
he's got a samurai thing in. Yes, he's got the hair going. Ninja pup, ninja puppy. Is that what you doing, Mama?
She said she's gonna get her hair did on Monday. I can't wait.
Yes.
She's such a pretty girl. She's so quiet. She's not a yipper for a little dog. Dorian wants his hair like that, Amber. He tries.
My hair's too long. It doesn't stay up.
It
I
won't
try to
stay
do
up
it, but
all
I
the
got it
way.
like in the back or whatnot. I'll try to put it up, but it's too long. I can shorten my hair, but everybody's like, "Don't cut it."
No, I like it. I like it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the one thing I feel too. Even with this chat, if I don't know, does it sound corny to say? I think this is like our, like we all just kind of know each other. Is like, in that sense, where we're all feeling that. Like we need to feel off each other's energy,
Yeah.
where we do feel better. And there, even though this is like on a computer and everything, it is a little bit more personable in here. It's like, I mean, I don't know what the majority of any of them look like, but I feel a connection. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's nice, and I think even with like all this technology and things blocking things, even having like this community, I think helps open us
Yes.
a little bit too.
Yes, and I'm gonna do some. Obviously, only in the Verona, Missouri class of the Sabrina Wallace classes have happened, but I want to get them together. Anybody that actually wants to do it, we can do it pre-recorded and then show it live or however they want to do it. But when you have like, and if you can get to a class, Coley, I'm telling you, man, it'd be great. People would love to meet you, and I think you'd benefit it. Just the health benefits alone of connecting with people. There was the class aspects of it, the biofield concurrence, and some of the things that we were learning about energy work and some of the crystal stuff, the table healing, and the various modalities. It was cool because there was a bunch of healers there, and they stepped up too. So it was like Sabrina teaching her stuff, and then she opened the floor for some of these other people to come up and talk about the way that they approach things, whether it was with tuning forks, energy healing. There was a myofascial release lady there. There was that does more of the hands-on stuff that I'm a little bit more familiar with. It was just so freaking cool. And like, this is what I think, this is our best shot at creating community, at creating whatever we can do to like assist one another and then uplift one another. Because when you go through this trauma stuff, like what you just experienced, and you blessed us with at least sharing it with us so that we could know where you're at and know how to pray for you and how to help you, and then other people can feel not as like you were holding back. I think when you were texting me, and you held back because you keep saying, I've heard you say things like, some people, I know people probably have gone through worse things than me. Don't downplay what you went through. What you went through was horrific. What you went through was traumatizing, and it's going to affect you in ways for the rest of your life. But that's why we have these communities, because we can lessen that burden. And now what you've been through can be a strength, because now other people that go through that already have a community where it's been established that other people know exactly what you just went through.
And I don't want anybody to go through that again. Like, I mean, unless you really feel, but if it's like, I don't know, like, how was I conned? Like, I'm usually pretty good about bullshit, but it's, then again, they did scare me about my eye, and my vision, but it's like,
yeah, it's a psychological thing, right? Because like
I didn't know to say, give me an eye doctor. Like, these are not what you're thinking when you're freaking out and they're scaring you.
Right. And hindsight is 2020. Of course, when you look back at it, you would have done this and that. It was the same thing with me. I kept thinking, man, I got it figured out. Like at first, I didn't even think about like the gas situation that I had going on in my apartment. So I was going to these people, but I had this young doctor that was trying to tell me that my shit was okay, and it was just like my arm is not working right or something. I don't really know if you would say a pinched nerve. It's what we call it, but it's not really what's going on. Something is possibly impinged. But whatever was going on, I'm like, something is definitely not right. And he was trying to send me back to work, and it was pissing me off. And I'd go try to get a second opinion, a third opinion, and all these people just were coming up with stupid crap. I know. It's a cyst in your back of your head. And to this day, there's not a fucking cyst. I'm still working through the tissue that's in there to break it up so that I can release the fascia that had bound itself so much that there was then inflammation that was building there when I get high stressed, and it was coming off of my shoulders up into my neck. I had a car accident in 2000.
Wow.
I wrecked my truck, smashed my face against the steering wheel. So I have all kinds of stuff that's catching up to me later in life, also with sports injuries and stuff that I've had. But good Lord, like them telling you have MS, that is so fucking traumatizing, because then it allows your brain to raise. And then they keep reinforcing it. This is the disgusting thing about the medical gaslighting, is that this, what was her name? Let's throw it out there. The Russian, Marks. Dr. Marks, little Russian lady, you said? Yeah, coming in and saying,
you
probably MS. Go fuck yourself, lady. It's like people like that keep coming in day after day or throughout the day and telling you it's probably MS, which is a horrible condition. I worked with somebody at Starbucks that literally had that, and they had to like plan moving from this and she was actually the manager, and God bless her, because she fucking was a fighter. She was a little short-tempered, but you couldn't blame her, because she's going through fucking hell where her muscles are all fucking rigid and shit like that. But she'd be at this counter and she'd have to look, plan, and then start fucking walking and get to the next counter, and she was fucking doing it. But I've seen what that shit does to somebody, and it'll eventually put you in bed.
I know.
It's fucking horrific.
Good friend's husband. It's like, and now when he talks, I think he feels bad because people can't understand him like they used to, because it's started to be more like a mumbling. But then, like my friend says, he'll be like, "Can you go pick up food? Because they won't understand me at the drive-thru." Like he'll play it off on her too, like for an excuse. But it's like, it's sad. I mean, there is a lot of things that they could do nowadays that they didn't have before, but it's still like, again, what my friend told me, what her husband having it and all the testing that they had to do and all these coming back and everything. It wasn't like you're going to lose your vision. You need the hospital right now. It's like there was no other implications to make them even think that I should have it. And optic neuritis, guess what? Did you know sometimes your eyeball nerves could just get a little wonky for no freaking reason at all? And that's all it is? That nobody could have even said that to me one time
Right.
until I went to the retina specialist. I even went back to him a month later just to be sure. And he's like, I'm telling you, you're fine. He's like, you only have two problems, dry eye and a floater. But it was a different kind of floater.
But you probably have MS.
But I probably have MS. Yeah. Well, thank God the retina specialist doesn't say that. But then again, it's like, how far is he really going to want to fight against the other doctors in the hospital? No.
Right.
I wouldn't even want to put him in that position.
Right.
You
Right
know?
before I came over to Missouri, I finally got one doctor to admit this is probably an accumulation of a lot of things, but natural gas likely played a
Right.
part. And they all gaslit me and acted like that didn't happen, that was an interesting thing. And then we'll get back more to this. But so I had my mom saying it might be then a natural gas because I had a natural gas, it was a natural gas heated apartment that I moved into, but it had this old fucking like fake wood natural gas stove, and it wasn't hooked up when I moved in. And then later on, I found out from the neighbors that the lady that was there was always sick and something was wrong with her. But anyways, I wanted this fucking thing to work, so I had them turn it on. And then shit started going wrong, and that thing had a fucking leak in it. But then there was leaks in the fucking lines right underneath my bedroom. So anyways, all this shit was going on. And then like when I finally like had a reaction when I was near that fucking thing, I thought, oh my God, that might be what it is. And so I fucking got into the doctor and told them, and they told me there's no way it possibly is. They wouldn't do a blood test. And then I'm back at my fucking place and I'm like going through these fucking like seizure like fucking kind of things where I can't hardly rigidly move my arms and all this kind of stuff. And I'm trying to get into a hot bath because the hot water helps loosen up the fucking tension and shit like that. But the water won't get hot. I'm like, what the fuck? And I struggle to put on my robe and I'm going to go walk out to the hot water heater, which is outside the apartment. And I get to the door and I open it and there's this big old red fucking thing on my doorknob and it says, natural gas has been turned off due to leaks found. See, yada, yada, yada. You will not have natural gas on until we fix this. I'm all like, motherfuckers, it's real. And then even after I had that proof, I go to the apartment, the renters, and I fucking walk in and I'm being cool. And I'm all like, yeah, so I've been having some medical issues and I found out that there's a leak underneath my apartment. Can I have that before I could say even the end of my sentence? She was like, no. She wasn't going to give me any of the information about what they found as far as the leaks go and any of the documentation so that I could take it to a doctor. And then I got some documentation, took it to a doctor, and the lady doctor, I had never seen her. She's like, this looks like a legal issue. And I'm like, yeah, it fucking does now, doesn't it, motherfuckers? And then like, I think it's all on. And then they treat me like a psychopath. And then my blood comes back. It doesn't have any carbon monoxide in it, which is all they cared about. But I didn't get that drawn until
did that eventually dissipate anyway?
From what I look up online, 48 to 72 hours is when that shit will leave your blood. So then already done. And then I did get an attorney, but then COVID happened and I moved out of the state and they dropped my ass and no one would pick it up. And then I fucking started in serious pain. I couldn't even do jumping jacks without my body seizing up. Like I had been a workout guy, I'd been active. All my jobs have been on my feet with Starbucks, massage therapy. I'd always been a hiker going up in the mountains. And now all of a sudden I can't even fucking hardly get around. And then I started fucking looking online for hope and truth, getting into my spirituality. And that's how I found Patriotic Christians. And that's where I got sucked into gene decode and all this bullshit. And that's why I am here today doing what I do fucking now.
It did do you good.
It was my journey. And it got me out of Oregon right before fucking COVID hit. If I would have been going through what I was going through, trying to like live in Oregon and needing financial assistance, wouldn't have been able to make it. Don't know what would have happened. And then I would have been stranded and it would have been
nothing better than being with your parents and the kiddies and
that has helped.
And you see your nieces and it's just that whole it just puts people in a good place. You know, I mean, I don't have much family, but when I do get to be with them, it's, it's special. I mean, I learned the hard way to appreciate it a lot more, but,
Right.
you know, the, those are kind of, even when they can make you crazy, those are the healing things in your life too, you
Right.
know?
Like you say, you'd give anything to go at it with your sister again.
Oh yeah. I mean, just even a like fist fight around the floor. I don't care,
Right.
Just
And then make
have
up
that.
and then be there for each other when you needed it.
Yeah, I mean, there was nobody like her. I mean, like I can't even. Did really like she would. I my like I said, my parents never beat her because she came with the craziest off the wall shit that they would just laugh. Like that
Right.
was just who she was. For floaters with that
Yeah.
comment, I've
Yeah.
had floaters, but I never had one like this. So
Right.
that's what blew my mind because it was big and it was gray like a spaceship, and it was like a portion of like if I was like reading the Naughty Ninja, like maybe the and the NAU and the NIN wouldn't show. And it was freaking me out. But these are doctors. Why couldn't they say that's a fucking floater?
Right. I don't know what the technical term is for a
You
fucking
know what I
floater, but
mean?
it's legit. If you're a human, you've experienced them.
I mean, all right, I'm just a dumb hairdresser, but if your hair's dry, guess what? You need conditioner. How about that one? Is
Right.
that hard? Jesus, like
Some floaters you'll see. So I've seen this. Some people they're parasitic. There's those kinds of things. I've heard that also. Like so, if you're like outside, especially where there's like sunlight coming in, and you stand up real fast, and you'll see the ones that are moving like inward and
yes.
stuff like that. That kind of or wherever they're moving. I'm told that that's not the light refracting off of cells as they move in the eye. So I've heard various explanations of these things. The ones that get fucking stuck there like that would be scary.
Because
Like,
it wasn't moving. It wasn't
right. They
going anywhere.
usually get out of it. They
And
usually
usually I
go, they
just see like
float
one little
away.
bubble and then it eventually goes away. This was for days. And that maybe it was just an oddity with having that little pressure. But I never said there was pain. I just felt a little pressure. And I said, no pain, just pressure. Like
Right.
I just felt some, just to and meanwhile, like the retina specialist was so cool and I was like, oh well this, that, and the other thing. And he's like, I really appreciate you telling me every little like nook and cranny because it makes my job easier. He goes, but that's dry eye. And then I'm like, and he's like, but that's a floater. So, like, why couldn't they just, in the first place, have like a real eye doctor come see me? And why did this place
It's
send
pretty
me?
logical.
And like, I wouldn't have had all this trauma. And like, why do you do this to people on other issues? Like, it's friggin' scary.
And with what you went through with your sister, you might have still been dealing with such a stress that was coming in and out of your life
Well, not
that
only
could have
that,
thrown things off and caused some of this.
and then losing my niece to fentanyl poisoning on top of everything else. Like, she just turned 21 and it was like a couple days before Christmas 2 years ago. Like, wait, what? And then it's like we just had to take off and go out to Pittsburgh. Yeah, like life just dropped. And then I'm like looking at my son. I'm looking at my other nephew that lost his mother, and it's like, wow, now you just lost your cousin. Like it just,
Yeah.
it's I guess God gives you what you can handle. But man, I think from now on, before if I ever have to go to a doctor again and I'm freaked out like that, I'm just gonna call whoever and be like, "So what do you think?" Because I don't I don't know what to do. Like
Yeah, I've been running a lot of stuff through people in the community and stuff. I know you're not doing good with the Telegram or whatnot, but
I can't do it. Like my brain don't work.
you don't have to stress yourself out or whatever, or maybe get on your computer and do it. You can do it on the desktop or a laptop or whatever. I do it a lot of times when I'm multitasking on here, which is probably a problem if there are real.
Hmm.
You have to make it known that it's an emergency next time, Coley. But I do apologize for not
Well, I hope
understanding.
there's never a next time.
And there should not be another next time, but we'll work what we can on this one. But this community, like, so I deal with like now for all of a sudden I have issues with my thyroid, And so someone was because I'm taking levothyroxine, and people were like, "Get off that," all that kind of stuff. I've heard all the different all the stuff, guys. I know, I get it, and I am putting a bit of faith in this doctor that I do like to a degree. But then somebody brought up like Armor, which I guess is a non-synthetic, more natural medicine that most doctors won't just come right out and offer. And I don't know if my what I'm on with the Medicaid that I'm dealing with is going to cover it right now, but I asked them about it, so we'll find out. But those are the kind of things we talk about as community, or you can, you do the foot bath therapies, do different modalities to do some like, not, I don't think we need to detox the shit out of ourselves, but the parasitic stuff I think is real.
Right.
And some of this stuff that we do in the community discuss, I think can be very helpful, because everybody's gone through all kinds of
that's what even my regular doctor, I mean, he has me taking ivermectin twice a week just to make sure things are good. Do you know what I mean? And now my husband and I were big into the castor oil, like the cold
castor oil, yes.
and refrigerate it, and it's like, and they say that's good for your eyes too. So it's like I put that on, and I just use like a little tint of moisturizer, but I put that on first, and it just stays on, and put it on my belly button because that's supposed to help. And
yeah, so it's cold pressed. Yep.
Virgin cold press. Yep. So, and then they say refrigerated too. So we've been doing that. My son looks at us like we're crazy. Like, I make beets and I save the water, and my husband drinks it, and I eat the beets, he drinks the water. I mean, just little things that
I can't do beets. If
really?
it was going to save my life, I would do it. I would definitely do beets over the urine therapy. That me personally. But
you haven't had my beets.
What do you do to your beets that make them special? Is it just Colee magic?
I cook them, just like my macaroni.
You just boil them.
Yes.
I've had them where they're like, I don't know if it was there was some kind of maybe a vinegar and an olive oil mixed in with it that I needed it to cut the sweetness of them. I don't like the sweetness of them and the juice. I could do a beet if it's
black pepper is good on them with a
okay.
little olive oil.
All right.
Yeah.
But have you tried that urine therapy?
No.
All right.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten there.
I'm doing the best I can. I add ginger. I put ginger in my coffee. I always have blueberries in the morning, and I just like eat it with blueberries just so it's not so rough going down. But it's like, the little things you try. I mean, and again, the other day I was driving to work, and legit, when you're driving and you see like a shoreline, and it's like all blue, and then the white clouds or whatever. Yeah, it's gross. You haven't had the right beets. That's why. And
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
My mom loves them, and I'm just like,
yeah. I mean, took me a while to like them, but I do. I even put them in my Skir, like that Siggy's stuff. It's like the Icelandic. It's like an Icelandic Greek yogurt. It's got like a lot of protein, and it's like not touched and no hormones and stuff like that. It's all like pure. So it's like you could almost use it as like a sour cream, but it's like a yogurt. So I just put like cocoa powder and and fruits in there, mix it up. So it's like a little parfait for something, you want to eat something bad in a sense, because instead of eating like the bag of pirate booties on my own, I'll do that instead. But now I finally chop up beets, so it gives it a really cool color and a little more texture. And my friend, she goes, I do that too. And I was cracking up. I go, there's something wrong with us, Yeah. But it's like, I guess we all do the best we can. I do the Bob's Red Mill baking soda. Like, I just let it disappear in my mouth a little bit and then drink it down.
I got one more for you. And Carlton has had success with the urotherapy. And so I'm not here to hate. And it is one of those things where it's not like they're selling products, because it's your own urine. I've heard the explanations that like when we're like in the womb, we're like there's urine in the womb, and we're like, it's stem cells and all that kind of stuff. I get that kind of stuff. I have a really high gag reflex. And so I have a really big issue with that kind of stuff. Some of that came on from a lot of the drinking that I did, because I was downing all kinds of poisons that my body really didn't want.
Well, did you
I have a gag reflex. What's that?
Better Call Saul. Did you watch that?
I'm actually halfway through it right now. I'm going back to finally go through it. I loved Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Did they get into that in there? I didn't know that. So I haven't got to
Well, it
that
was a
part yet.
survival. It was survival.
Okay.
And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I can't.
If I had to survive on it, I bet you I could. But here's one for you, Colee. Have you tried butthole sunning?
No.
What? Why wouldn't you? Did you watch when I showed that? I noticed that after I showed that, and it probably just wasn't me, but it was a certified health nut dude who was definitely a fucking.
That was really true. It wasn't a joke.
Well, it's arguably like not real fucking science. Like it's not really doing what they say it is. In his last video, because everybody's been asking about it ever since he put out that video again, he's been doing it again. The certified health nut. He's not the only one that does it. But anyways, because he claims that the butthole is, a thinner layer membrane, and then taking in like 30 seconds of sun gets you like 8 hours of sun that you would get through your normal skin. That's the claim. But at the end of his last video, this little shorts that he always makes, he says, but at the very least, it's a very limber movement of holding your knees up above your head. So it's almost like he's saying it is bullshit. But now he's doing it in groups. He's getting groups together to do butthole sunning. So if anybody out there ever actually does try it, you'll just have to let me know. Charlie's all in, as you can see right there.
No, I'm just trying to have this vision of me on my balcony and my neighbors walking by.
Dude, you never heard of butthole sunning? You guys don't even know. That crazy Italian Jersey girl, man. She's lost it. She's fucking lost it.
Oh my God.
We gotta have some laughs
my husband
here.
walking home. Like,
yes, that's what you need. So this is what you need to do. You need to set up a camera for a reaction, and then get your husband's reaction to that. Just put up a big old fucking thing so that none of your neighbors can see you.
Fucking crazy. That's what I get.
Oh man, I've joked that I think if I was out there even doing that for a minute, all of a sudden I'd feel a little sniff in my butt, because it'd be a feral cat that would just pop up out of nowhere to sniff my butt.
Right. I'm like, I don't think I'd probably fart.
Oh man, we had to have some fun at the end of this one. This was a little heavy, but we'll get that sucker part.
Hi, Charlie.
Oh man, send your pics. I know everybody wants me to do it. I know. I just don't want to give that to my enemies, because that's what I'll get trolled with that for the rest of my fucking time online.
So if we all took pictures of our butthole and sent them to you, do you think that would heal you?
They do stuff like that online, and people get paid money to write about private parts.
People do anything.
If we send pictures of buttholes to people, will that heal them? Can you imagine?
Well, they might not even know what it is.
Well, if you were very creative in your abstract way of taking a picture of your butthole and sending it to somebody and they didn't know what it was. Or you've seen those videos where they take like an orange and they stick something like around the orange a little bit, like, I don't know, like chocolate or something like that. And then they blindfold the person, and then they stick their finger in it. And they're like, what is that? And then when they take the blindfold off, they're holding their little dog in front of them. So the person thinks that they were just sticking their finger in this dog's butthole. This is some serious therapy for y'all.
No,
laughter is medicine.
Ninja Pup's looking at me like,
Ninja
really?
Pup.
What the fuck?
You gotta do. Your son probably seen some of those videos, because if he's online at all. But get your son blindfolded. Get an orange where you can fit it in between the little orange things.
He's the ultimate gagger. He would start throwing up. He would legit throw up.
Because if you had him do that, and then you stick Ninja Pup's butt like right up near his face, and then pull the blindfold off, and he's looking at his finger, and he's seeing that chocolate on the end of it, and he's like, "What the fuck, Mom?"
That just reminded me. I was at a baby shower years ago, and it was the diaper test, and they chopped up like melted candy bars, and you're supposed to smell it to figure out which candy bar it was. I was not doing that.
Oh
I was
God.
like, what kind of fucking retard thought of this? Because that is disgusting. Like, I was ready to throw the fuck up. That's disgusting. This is like a Baby Ruth, a Snickers. But look at it melted in a diaper. I was like, I'm not a priss, but that one, no.
Hey, that might cut down people's if like I used to love Snickers, I used to have a hard time not eating one every once in a while kind of a thing. And if you had a problem with those to a serious degree, then maybe that would be the way to cut that down.
I think I don't like Baby Ruths just because of Caddyshack. I can't put one in my mouth.
Oh my gosh.
I was a little kid, but it's
I know, right?
it's in my brain.
Forever. Forever.
Yeah, it's that's gross. Oh my God. Yeah. Well, I'm glad at least we laughed.
See, we had to end this one on a high note where we had a little
Yes.
bit of humor into it. I think that helps. But I'd love to have you back on, Colee. And I'm telling you right now, in front of everybody live right now, and the people that watch this replay, thank you for watching. And if you have this kind of experience, feel free to vent down in the comments. But Colee, I want to have you back on, and then we are going to get you this transcript in a way that is just what needs to be sent into the medical people, whatever the fuck. We'll do whatever we can.
That's my other thing. But I'm sure Biscuits is smart enough. And anybody who's watching this in the like regular comments or even afterwards, if you have any kind of advice or what to look for, what to do, what not to do, I will gladly take your suggestions. I just feel it's weird. I just feel so lost, and it's like I haven't been myself. And it was just kind of like a weird thing when I just like hit you up the one day, and then you're like, I want you to come back on, and it was like, oh, and I was like, oh, and then I was like, no, I'm being selfish, like. I don't talk about, and then it's like, no, because I'm not like that. I'm not an asshole like that, But then it's like, you know what, Matt? I think I do feel a little bit lighter right now. I mean, thank you, because it's like you tell other people it's like your family and they like lived it with you, and it's like they're affected by it. So it's like when my husband and I talk to him, it's like just pay. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And it's like, no, I don't even want to put money down because I don't want to comply to it. But then in a sense, I did hear in my state that even if you have if you're put in collections, this doesn't ruin your credit. Now, my only claim to fame with my husband is we are piss poor broke, but we don't owe anybody anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we have our credit cards, but it's not going to kill us. But it's like, I mean, we never got the American dream of getting the house and all the whatever. But it's like, at least our credit is good. And it's like, this is also going to, like, this is ruining my life. Like, I don't want this to ruin my credit. But they said in New Jersey, in the state of New Jersey, it doesn't. Somehow they know about it, but it doesn't affect your credit. Because it's like, on top of that, it's going to fuck with my credit too. I'm like, like I'm telling, like, you're ruining my son's life. Like, he's going to be driving. He's going to be going to college. I don't even know how I'm going to do through any of this. And then I got to have a bump in the road of $5,000 to give you for dry eye and a floater. Like, I get it if it was something more serious and I would give you what I could, but dry eye and a floater? Are you serious?
And they gave you fucking nonstop trauma for at least 5 days, and then it continues now to this day.
Right. Every time, like, I get the mail and like I it's like I can't open it. But I think this weekend I'll keep you posted.
And we'll get you that, and it'll help. It'll help you from having to relive it all over again.
Because my mother's like, I don't want you getting all upset. It's not worth it. And I'm like, it's consuming me. It's just So I appreciate everybody hearing me whine and piss and bitch. Sorry.
Hey, we all got this. This is ruin people, and this is their attempt to ruin another person, and we're not going to let that happen.
And I'm very sorry that you went through. I didn't know the full extent of why you always said you had your pains and woes, and now I completely understand. And it sucks because you should be compensated for that.
And it's something I try not to talk about as much anymore. It was my channel in the early part was therapy, and I had a lot of very emotional, not just because of my stuff, but also struggling with my health, and then knowing that there was a lot of human trafficking and children that were in need,
Right.
and all the horrors that were going on in the world, the cannibalism, and all these various things that we've talked about in various aspects of this channel. And it was so overwhelming on top of not having the strength even to like battle my own health stuff. And then I get attacked. And then when I finally got enough strength to start going after some of the grifters and stuff like that, but still dealing with a lot of stuff, it's been quite the challenge. And at some point, I stopped being as emotional and sharing that stuff because I didn't want to give them ammo to use against me. So I hear what you're saying, but in this case and in this scenario, I am so thankful that you were courageous enough to share with us what you went through, because this is going to help other people, and more people are going to be able to speak about what they've also been through, and then as a community it'll only better us. So thank you.
Or even, yes, like even just in your mind, like if I had like somebody to whisper to me, hey, before you go to the hospital, why don't you just push a little harder and say, I want to see an eye specialist right now if it's such an emergency, to really make that determination. So like whatever somebody else's issue, maybe just walk into that specialist's office and say, do I really need to go? Or can you just look at me real quick and save me heartache? Or, there has to be some good people out there. There has to be some good doctors out there, you
Right.
know? No, I wouldn't. No, they don't see. That's my whole point. I don't want to pay what they don't deserve. They
Right.
deserve that money. It's sweet, but I wouldn't ask for that because I feel like you're taking food out of my kid's mouth. And
Yeah.
that pisses me off. Like, and then your mother, you know,
The mother instincts
the-
kick in.
yeah. And it's like they don't deserve it. And that they already had a lady walking on a computer trying to do a billing with me.
Right.
I still don't have a diagnosis and they're sending me a bill. I guess that's how the world works now, huh?
Unfortunately, but we still got to use the tools that we do have to fight back, and we have a community here. And yeah, let's wrap it up here. And
Yeah.
like I said, we'll get the transcript to you, and we'll all be in communication with you. But thanks again for coming on, Colee, and sharing this. I know it wasn't easy, but
No,
I think it's going to be important for a lot of people, like I said.
my anxiety went away.
I know, right? Once you get going and you just, you're speaking to something that is important, and that I hope it helped you get it off your chest, and that you feel lighter because of it, and then know that anything that you need, we'll do the best that we can to, be a
I love all
community.
of you
And
guys.
yeah, I love
I
you
really
too.
do. It's just thank you. I can't thank you enough. And Biscuits and Sabrina, you said something really beautiful before, and I thank you. And just all you guys are great. I just
Yeah.
yeah.
And when I posted this video, and then we're going to close out, y'all, and I appreciate y'all being here. Yesterday, people were already tailgating. They thought that the show was yesterday, and so they showed up early because they were so excited to see you, Colee.
Oh,
There
no.
were people here yesterday, and I'm sorry I put it out early. I just couldn't wait to release that Colee was going to be on.
Do you
So
know
I
I
put it
got home
out.
from work early yesterday, and I was almost going to say, hey, you want to do it right now? And then I was like, no, I don't want to ruin his plans,
Right, but there were people lining up and ready to rock and roll, and then they finally realized it was today. So here it was. And if you watch this on a replay because you're busy and you're doing work, we understand, but we're thankful that you were here. Colee, did you have anything to say before we go?
I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I thank you all for your energy, your good energy, and that you care. I mean, because it's part of it too. It's like nobody gives a fuck, and you guys do. And I don't want to start crying, but I thank you guys a lot. I really do. It was very bittersweet.
Thank you, Colee.
Thank you, and
Love you.
Well, love you. Have a good night.
Yep. Thank you, everyone. Catch you on the next one. God bless and peace.
And 1 second, Allison's a skank hoe.
You heard it here at the very end
Right,
on the
Heather?
Naughty Ninja podcast.
And
Colee Lays is great.
Naughty Ninja. I'm gonna show her some Naughty Ninja shit.
We out.
Out.